I guess it helps to hit the go live button before I start talking, huh? Otherwise, it's just kind of sitting here talking to myself again. Which we do a lot anyway. I guess kind of was the essence of streaming. Huh. Having an existential crisis this early into the stream. Tonight's gonna be a good one. So, yeah, hello everybody. We're off to a great start. Anybody that was here yesterday, or anybody that saw the last episode, it is up on YouTube. Yeah, that was something, wasn't it? That was just chapter 1. We've got a wild ride ahead of us. So after stream, I went back and got my 2 endings from my other 2 choices that I didn't do, just in case we accidentally erase them. I am not going to tell you what those endings were. I am not going to say what happens in them. If you want to know, the game's available. Ta-da! Alright, so after yesterday's interesting experience that, let's see, took us from panic to absolute sorrow, then to absolute madness. I wonder what this game is going to have next for us. So let's continue the story, shall we? I still have a little bit of cold, so if my voice sounds weird, I do apologize. Yeah. Alright, here we go. I don't know who's talking. Oh yeah, we also lost our guest status, which I'm not really sure what that means. I guess it means we can actually die now. But, I don't know if we can still log out. But I suppose the game will let us know. Back when we were still living in the village. It was so cool today, Steve. What was cool? What happened? Kristen was still young back then, so she wasn't allowed outside the village. So, instead, I became Kristen's eyes and told her everything I saw outside the village each day. Is that what happened? That's what I found. It was a glass bird ornament. It's smooth to the touch with a cute roundish shape and beady eyes. Everything about it is just so charming. I've never seen anything so pretty before. I just had to show it to you, Steve. I don't know why you're so laggy. Wow, it's so pretty. It's so smooth. So, can Steve have it? Please? Of course, you can have it. From that day on, Kristen took that bird ornament everywhere she'd go. In the morning, she'd put it on the breakfast table. In the afternoon, she'd take it on a walk. At night, she'd sleep with it in bed. She'd carefully carry it in both hands. But Kristen looked up at me with tears in her eyes. Big bro, this little one died. In her hands were shattered glass fragments. It only took one time. Kristen rolled around with it in her hands. It only took that one time for the bird to break. The bird is coming back to life, right? The tears started to fall. The bird can be fixed, right? It was beyond repair. I knew that. After all, it was made in the past. There was not a single person in our village capable of such intricate glasswork. Please, big bro. It can't be fixed. The glass bird can't come back to life. I knew that. I knew it, but still. Don't worry. I'm sure this birdie can get better. I said that without thinking. At first, I tried to fix it by myself. A sharp edge cut my skin, and I started bleeding. No dice. I tried sticking the pieces back together, but it didn't work out. So I ran around the village with a broken glass in hand. Can this be fixed? If you know how to fix it, then please tell me. Please, this thing's important to Steve. I'll do anything if you can fix it. The village chief, my parents, the adults, the children. I begged everyone in the village, knowing full well that I was being a nuisance. But as I had expected, not a single person could fix it. I ran toward the forest. If I could find some other glasswork, maybe that would cheer up Kristen, at least a little bit. But I couldn't even do that. Why? There wasn't any glasswork to be found. Obviously. The fact that it was rare and in such good condition was why I gave it to Steve in its first place. There was no way I could find a replacement that easy. I got a little depressed, but that only got me thinking. If these things are really that rare, then that only made it that much more worth it to keep looking. I recklessly ran around. My frantic search, I moved fallen trees, dug up dirt, tossed debris, shooed away bugs, and waded into rivers. I didn't want Kristen to feel that she had experienced loss. I didn't want myself to feel like I had experienced loss. Please, let me find something, anything. My eyes started to blur, but I didn't want to go home empty-handed. I could just imagine the look on Kristen's face if I had gone home with nothing but the still shattered glasswork. And I didn't want to see that face again. Just one. It doesn't have to be anything big. Please, let me find something. Where did they all go, I wondered. Apparently, there used to be tons of glasswork like this in the past. In fact, I heard there used to be way more pretty things, way more fun things out there to be found. There used to be way more people out there to create these wonderful things, apparently. Why do we have so few things now? Why do we have so few people now? I couldn't contain my frustration. I could only vent that frustration by crawling in the mud, searching in vain. After hours and hours without finding anything, Steve was standing there. Without me even realizing it, it had gotten dark and rainy. I was looking for you, big bro. I'm sorry. then. I made everyone worry. I made everyone sad. I couldn't fix the treasure. I couldn't even find a replacement. I was so pathetic. I wanted to cry. Alright, hold on. Okay, just making sure I wasn't muted again. I forgot to check before stream, so I had to check now. Okay. But before I could cry, it was Kristen who cried. Quick, girl. You were trying to fix the birdie, weren't you? But everyone said that the birdie couldn't be fixed. They said that not even you could fix it, big bro. In Kristen's eyes, I could see both the emotions of it really is unfixable, isn't it? And it can't be fixed, can it? It can be fixed, can't it? Okay, so she was going back and forth. Got it. I could feel her anxiety, which is why I abandoned the idea of crying and turned to her with a smile instead. Don't worry. It can be fixed. Huh? Not just the bird. So many other pretty and fun things can be fixed. Everything that we've lost now can be fixed, too. We'll regain the lifestyles of the past we've heard so much about. Sure, it's not possible right now, but one day it will be. We won't have to lose anything ever again. So don't you worry. Just you wait. It was one of Mom's favorite sayings. I was so used to hearing her say it, I said it without thinking too deeply about it. And yet... Okay. I'll wait. The moment I saw that smile, I was glad I said it. You can do anything, big bro. So I'll wait. Ever since that day, I proactively studied the lifestyles of our predecessors. What tools they used, how they worked, how they played. The more I learned, the more I was overwhelmed with curiosity. I began to grow attached to the culture of the past. Before I knew it, Mom's favorite saying became my favorite sayings. One day, I swear, I'll bring back a civilization like the past. I'll make the world a fun place again. Because once the world is fun again, Kristen will be sure to smile more and more. I just say I love this game, but it is so amazingly depressing, which makes it that much better. I know that makes me a little bit weird, but I love stories like this with actual, true, real emotion, real feelings. I step away from my memories and open my eyes. Patrol complete. Nothing to report. Tin's movements really express a sense of fun. Perhaps my sympathizing with Tin is what caused me to recall those nostalgic memories. I let out a deep breath and changed gears. I'm sorry, I don't know where Dark Cerberus went. While I struggled with my near monstrification experience, Dark Cerberus got away. Hey, it's fine. Now that he's been stripped of his boss status, he'll probably try to keep a lower profile. Oh, now that you mention it, I did get his god fragment. Fragment? Fragment. Let me double check. Yeah, I still got it. How do I use it again? The Dark Cerberus had the god fragment. It was floating on top of his memory card, wasn't it? In that case, let me try setting it on Tim's memory. Playtime with Kristen. Oh, amazing! The god fragment glows and sticks onto the memory card. Oh, how cool! I feel the power. Memory card enhanced with god fragment. Basic effect. All attributes up. Special effect. Enhanced weapon. Wait, that's not the same special effect that Dark Cerberus had. I'm pretty sure his special effect was something like quickly gains resistance to attacks. I guess God Fragments just enhance each avatar according to their specialties. That does make sense. I mean, boosting abilities based on an overarching sort of thing kind of pointless for upgrades, wouldn't it? You'd want to find things that were specified to you. At least that's how I think of it. I tested out on my other memory cards. Gentle Mother gets enhanced movement speed. Guardian's End gets enhanced rampage. For now, it looks like my best bet is to set it on Playtime with Kristen. Okay.
Wow, すごい。ねえ、スティ、見て。
Look at that,
ティーンがあんなに素早
Did
く。
you see how fast Tim's gotten?
あ、キャンディーさんも、ほら、見てくださいって。
Please just look at her go.
おお、
Yeah,
見てるが、
I'm looking.
なんか
It's just
お前さん
I'm
元気
kind
だ
of
な。
surprised to see you so cheerful.
変ですか
Is it weird?
いや、
Not at
今
all.
の方が楽しそうでいい。
It's good to see you enjoying yourself more.
そうですね。
I suppose
楽しいん
you're
だ
right.
と思います。
I am enjoying
すご
myself.
く体が軽い気がするんです。
When I lost my guest status, whatever was sealing my emotions faded away too. At least that's what it feels like. The emotions feel so clear now. The sadness of seeing Miss Cheryl's death, the rage, the excitement of playing this game, the wonder. I'm so overwhelmed by these unfamiliar feelings. I'm restless and a little confused. But now, I finally feel like I can be myself.
あ、そうだ。握手してもらっていいですか？
Can I shake your hand?
お、
Huh?
お願いします。
Please?
いや、まあ、構わんが。
I don't mind, but, well...
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. I quickly grasped Mr. Candy's hand. It's warm. Human warm.
こんなおっさんの手握って楽しいか？
Is it fun to shake hands with an old man like me?
はい、すっごく。
Yes, very. After all, I'm finally face to face with another person. Even if these sensations are artificial, they're human beings living in here. Amazing.
すごいな。
Now that I've regained my emotions, this world is like a living miracle, come to think of it. Humanity is alive in this world. Traces of the past have been preserved here in the form of the Memory Experience Quarter. It's what I've admired since childhood. The very thing I wanted to reclaim is here, right before my eyes. The problem is that they're all inside a game. If everyone here could start living in the real world, I'm sure culture and civilization could be restored. Maybe we could reclaim the lifestyles of the past that I've heard about. I get so emotional just thinking about the possibilities.
ありがとうございました。
Thank
満
you
足
very
しました。
I'm satisfied now. I let go of his hand. But the excitement doesn't subside.
握手の代わりと言っちゃなんだ
I
が、
know it's weird to
一つ
ask
いい
this
か？
right after a handshake, but you got a moment?
はい。
What is it?
他の奴らと話して決め
I
た。
talked with the other survivors.
俺たちは改めて
We've
ここ
decided
を
to
安
make
全
this
な
place
集
a
落
safe
にした
village
い。
once again.
ああ、いいですね、それ。
That sounds like a great idea.
ただそのためには モンスター化した奴らの
To do
対
that,
処をしな
you
きゃ
gotta
な。
deal with the guys who've been monstrified.
そこで
Which
お
is why
前さんに
everyone
手
would
を
like
貸し
to
て
ask
も
for
らえる
your
と
help.
ありがた
But
いって話にな。
それは
I'm sorry.
すみません。
I can't help you
今
right
は
now.
無理です。
I want to help out. I really do. But I've got a load of problems of my own to deal with right now. I can't make promises I can't keep.
そうか。
I see. What is this strange feeling? Seeing Mr. Candy sad like this makes me sad too.
あ
Did he pat my head?
そんな気にするな。
Don't sweat it.
他の連中の手
I
前
was just
一応
asking
聞いた
because
だ
they
け
didn't
だ。
ask me to.
むしろ断ってくれてよかった。
I'm glad you said no.
手を貸してもらったら
For all you
今度
know,
はお前さん一人に押し付けちまうかもしれん。
they'll show all the work on you tomorrow. What he said.
そういうのはもうや
We
め
all
だ。
know where that gets us. I see.
そうですか。
It really is heart-wrenching to see him make that face. Is there anything I can do?
ち
Please
ょっと
wait
待って
just
く
a
ださ
second.
い。
On the spur of the moment, I pick a wooden board off the ground. I scratch some letters onto it with my nails.
なんだそりゃ。
What the heck is that?
受け取ってください。
Please
お
take
世話になったお礼です。
It's my way of thanking you for all you've done.
おう。
Oh, okay.
僕の故郷の言葉で
I wrote
何でも
anything
剣っ
on
て
it
書
in
きま
the
した。
native language.
これを使えば
Use
僕が
this,
何でもする
and
剣
I'll
で
do
す。
any one thing you ask of me.
本当に危ない時は呼んでください。
Seriously. If
何
you're
があっ
in
ても
danger,
絶対に助けに行きますから。
I swear I'll come help you no matter what happens.
へえ。その時スティがピンチだったとしてもか。
もちろん
Of course.
スティを助けながら
I'll save
あな
both
たも
you
助けます。
and Steve at the same time. Because I don't want to lose either of you.
ならその時
Guess
は
I
遠
won't
慮なく
hesitate
使
to
わせ
use
て
it
も
when
ら
I
う
need
か。
it then. Thanks
い
for
ろいろ
everything,
と
kid.
ありがとな。
こちらこそありがとうございました。
Thank you. Mr. Candy leaves. A few moments later, I get a message.
キャンディーさんからフレンド申請が届きました。
Candy sent you a
承
friend
認しま
request.
すか？
Do you accept? If I'm logged out, Mr. Candy sees it on his friends list. He'd probably be very confused. Maybe Miss Altia is right. Maybe it is risky. I probably shouldn't thoughtlessly accept friend requests. But
申請を承諾しました。
request accepted. He's done so much for me. So this is the least I could do. I open up my friends list and see the name Candy added to it. As I open up a direct message with Ms. Altia.
少し力になってくれませんか？
Can you help me out a little? The villagers are working hard, but my battle's only getting started. A lot has changed in the game, but in the real world I'm still locked in the hibernation facility. I forgot about that.
そうか。チュラルがな。
I see. Sorry to hear about Cheryl. I quickly fill her in on what's happened. How I'm locked in the facility in the real world, and how Miss Cheryl became monstrified and died.
スティの様子は？
How's Steve?
今は大丈夫です。
She's fine for now.
大丈夫なのが
Which is
逆
what
に心
concerns
配
me.
ですが。
Steve seems to be relieved that I was able to withstand monstrification. She also vaguely seems to have calmed down from the grief of Miss Cheryl's death. But that's probably only due to the state that Steve's currently in. For all we know, once she remembers being Miss Cheryl's student, the sadness could come rushing back. You know,
Steve はな、
whenever Steve tried to recruit guild members,
ギルドメンバーを増やす際、
she would go everywhere
アルケミアンにだけ
but
は
alchemy.
立ち寄ろう。ここは最後に征服す
She'd
る。
say things like,
いっ
this will
ぱい
be
に
the
なった
last
メン
stop
バー
on
リ
our
ストを
path
見
to
せて
conquest.
驚かせる
Or,
と。
I want to surprise them with a huge member list.
そうですか。
She probably wanted to show off her member list to Miss Cheryl or Mr. Candy. But before she could get that opportunity,
チュラルのことは残念だ。
Cheryl's death is a pity.
非常
It
に残
truly
念
is
だ
a。pity, but
だから
that's
こ
why I
そ
have one condition.
条件？
What's that?
お前が閉じ込められている
I
こと
can
につ
give
いて
you advice on getting out of
私
that
は
locked
助言でき
facility,
る。ただし
but only on the
助言
condition
を聞きたければゲームクリアを目指さないと
that you won't attempt
約
to
束して
clear
も
the
らおう。
game. Well, there goes our big... Well, we're gonna clear the game. We have to. Is it gonna give us a choice? Because I'll save if it does. Excuse me,
先に僕から
but
助
do you
言いい
mind
です
if I
か？
give you some advice first?
言ってみろ。
Go ahead.
そんな顔してたら条件をつけた意味なくなっちゃいますよ。
If you make a face like that, it ruins the point of adding that condition. Now that I've lost my mentor, attempting a game clear has only become more dangerous. That must be why she's trying to stop me. But if that's the case, then it doesn't work as a bargaining chip at all. If she's really that kind, she wouldn't actually leave me locked up in there, would she?
心配してくれてありがとうございます。
Thank you for worrying about me.
うぬぼれるな。
Don't get
お
full
前
of
の心
yourself.
配なんてしていない。
I'm not worried about you at all. I know. It's Steve she's worried about. Probably. But that still makes me happy. Actually, that makes me even happier than her worrying about me. Someone else values Steve. Just thinking about it kind of makes my heart feel warm.
施設から脱出できたらまたクリアを
Once
目
I
指しま
escape
す。
from the facility, I'll get back to working on clearing the game.
ボスになって慢心したか。
Boss power gone to your head?
いえ、
Not
僕
at all.
はまだ弱いですよ。
I've obtained a god fragment. I can raise my empathy ratio now too. So I do think that I've gained more power. But that's only because my avatar got more powerful. I'm still weak. If you rely solely on having a strong avatar, you leave yourself wide open. That's what Miss Cheryl taught me.
恐怖はあります。
I'm
でも
afraid, but
それ以上に頑張ろうって気持ちが湧いてくるんです。
I'm filled with the determination. I don't know why that was so hard to say. To overcome that fear.
少しでもスティのため
The
に行動したい
determination
な
to
っ
do as
て、
much as possible.
そんな気持ちが
Much as I possibly can for Steve's sake. Earlier, when I recalled that memory of the past, I could clearly feel the determination within me. That said, I feel like I've had that feeling locked within me all along. The feeling just never had the opportunity to rise to the surface. You know,
お前は
you're more cunning
意
than
外
you
と
let
ずるい
on.
やつだな。私も弱いんだよ。
I'm weak too. Weak to the words,
スティのた
for
め
Steve's sake.
という
That
言
is?
葉にな。そもそもお前が閉じ込められたのは
It was
私の
my
落ち度だ。
oversight that got you trapped in the first place. I'm curious though, how does she know all about the facility and everything and passwords and things like that? Who is she really? Was she like one of the programmers or somebody that worked at the facility or something like that? Who actually is Altia? I suppose eventually we'll learn that, but it's just... She knows a lot more than she should at this point. Probably tripped the surveillance system.
警報装
What's
置
a
って
surveillance?
何ですか？
今現実の
Let's
体
say
が
your
切り
body
裂か
got
れてい
torn
た
up
と
in the
す
real
る。
world. You wake up
目
and
覚めて
realize
そ
the
れに気づ
mutilation.
いたお前はど
What
うす
would
る？
you do?
大騒ぎした後、
Once I'm done
やった人
panicking,
を捕まえますね。それで
that's a
し
good
か
way
る
to
べき
open.
対処をします。
I'd say I'd capture the culprit and then deal with him properly.
それを人の代わりに実行す
The
るのが警
surveillance
報装
system
置
would
だ。
do all that for you,
今回
In
の
this
場合
case,
はお前という危険人物に対し
and the system's
騒ぎ
captured you inside the
施設
facility.
内に捕らえたわけだ。さらに本来なら
Normally, the system
警
would
備
call
員
a
を
guard
呼ん
to
で
kick
お
you
前を
out,
排除する
thus
という
dealing with you
しかるべ
properly.
き対処もしただ。
僕、悪いことしちゃってたんですね。
Trying to think of it. That facility seemed like it was built to protect those inside. And yet, I trespassed my way inside and used it without permission. It's no wonder they'd try to capture me. But even if there was still a guard around, is it really a good idea to lock intruders in with the people the facility is meant to protect? Wouldn't that just endanger the people inside? That makes it seem like it's meant less to capture intruders and more to prevent anyone inside from ever leaving. Ooh, that's actually a good point.
気に病むな。
Don't sweat
弁
it.
明すればいい。
You just need to give a proper
閉ざされ
apology
た扉にパ
to
ス
the
ワー
locked
ド。
door. The locked door
合
just needs
言葉
a
を入
password
力するんだ。
verification. That is, you need to say the magic word.
ごめんなさいって。
Is sorry, the magic word. See? See chat. See YouTube. See friends. See everybody. I've been using the magic word my entire life. I do know magic. Apparently, sorry is the word. That's actually kind of awesome. It's not. It's not going to be the word, but still. Anybody that knows me probably would think that was funny. Anybody else probably thinks I'm insane for going off on this little tirade. So back to the game.
残念ながら適切な謝
Unfortunately,
罪文はわから
I
ん。
don't know the proper magic
だ
word.
が
But the person
設
who
定し
said
た
it
人
should
物な
know.
らわかる。私は以前
You see,
ハイバネーション施
I've
設
been
の
on
見
a
学を
tour
して
of a
な。
hibernation facility once.
担当の警備員がパ
I
スワ
heard
ード
that
を
the
設
guard
定する
is the
と
one
聞
who
いた。
sets the password.
警備員なんていませんでしたよ。
But I didn't see any guards.
だろうな。
That's no surprise.
装置の中で
At
動
this
かない
point,
生
nobody
物は
watches over the motionless lives
きっ
within
と
those
神で
pods.
も見放すさ。
Not even God.
だが
But there was a
かつて
guard
はい
there
た。
at one point.
なら
You
ば
just have to follow their
警
track.
備員の足取りを追えばいい。
どこに行ったかわかるんですか？
Do you know where they could have gone?
二択だ。死んでいれば墓の中。生きていれば装置の中。
They're in a grave underground. If they're alive, they're in a pod underground.
もし装置の中なら
If it's the latter, then you might
活
survive.
路はある。
So it's all down to luck, huh? I can still see a hint of concern in Saltia's eyes. Once we're done talking, I head to a random building and pick up some debris. I then stack some of the lighter objects to create a makeshift shelter.
僕は今からログアウトしなきゃいけない。その間、
In the meantime,
一
I
人
want you
で
to
こ
hide
こに
here by
隠れてて
yourself.
ほしい。
Can you do it?
できるかな？
With copious use of gestures, I explain the situation to Stee and bring her inside the shelter. Stee copies what I do.
心細いと思うけど、
I know you must
ちゃ
be
んと戻っ
scared,
てくるから。
but I promise I'll be back. So wait right here, okay?
警備員さん、
I
いません
actually
か？
hate the idea of leaving Stee in there. I know there's not really much choice. It's all about the game. But considering what happened last time we logged out, I absolutely do not want that. No. Otherwise, you all might actually get to hear what I sound like when I'm crying. Anyway, are there any guards around? The only response I get is a blaring alarm. I'm all alone in this place. If I hold my breath, there's not even any wind here. I'm still not used to it being alone out here and seeing so many players moving around inside the game. No. Perhaps what I'm really not used to is the silent void left in Kristen's absence. I let out a sigh and search inside. Even if the guard is inside a hibernation pod, it doesn't matter. I don't know which pod it is. Which is why Miss Altia suggested that I gather info first, and then look for the proper hibernation pod. For now, let's try opening what I assume are drawers.
わあ、見てスティ、
Oh, look at
紙がい
this,
っぱいだ。
There's so much paper.
で、
Oh. That's right. Kristen isn't around. But still, that's a lot of paper. Wow. so white and smooth. How do they make it so thin and light? It's beautiful. It was like a treasure trove to me, but if there's this much of it just sitting here, maybe it was a normal, everyday thing for people in the past?
やっぱり昔の生活ってすごいよね。
Lifestyles
ね
in the past really were amazing, don't you think? Again, such an idiot. I definitely can't read anything that's written on these papers. Let's look for something else. What else do we have? Oh, this is a key. Probably. I know that much. The trailer house is a cupboard with a key after all. If there's a key, there must be a corresponding lock. Found it. This tall, shelfy thing. There's several keyholes on it, but this key unlocks one of them. I quickly try each hole one by one. It opened. What's inside? Clothes. Lots of clothes. But they all look exactly the same. I heard that people of the past wore different clothes each day. Was that just a misconception? Anyway, let's keep looking some more. More paper. Bundle of paper. A book, probably. There's a lot of information contained in here. Probably. There's so much written here. Yeah, I can't read any of it. Such a shame. I'll just flip through it for now. Something fell out. This is a photograph. Probably. In the center is a girl. A man and woman stand to her left and right as if to protect her. They're all smiling. They must be a happy family. And the man's wearing the same clothes that I just found. So, does everything inside this container belong to the man in the photograph? Was he a guard? He looks familiar. When I first arrived at this facility, I took a quick look at everyone in the hibernation pods. Maybe I saw his face back then. If that's the case, I've still got a chance to survive. I take a closer look at the people in the hibernation pods and find the man who I assume is a guard. I knew something was gonna happen. I knew something was gonna happen. I knew something was gonna happen.
Oh,
Oh, okay, we got back. When I log in after wrapping up my initial investigation, Steve immediately tackles me. Welcomes me. I fall over backwards and Steve clings to me, nuzzling her head against my chest. I'm back,
ただい
Steve.
ま、スティ。
This position is kind of embarrassing. But when she looks at me like that, it's hard for me to just say that I'm embarrassed.
ごめん。
I'm sorry.
寂しかったよね。
He must have been lonely. Looks like
い
it's
つの間に
nighttime
か
already.
夜だったんだね。
When I pat her on the head, she nuzzles herself against me even more. Neither Miss Cheryl nor Miss Candy are around anymore. She must be especially anxious seeing me log in and out now. In any case, I might as well strike with the iron's hot. Let's talk to Ms. Althea.
ほう、装置にいたか。
So he was in a pond, huh? Lucky you.
何度も写真と見比べたから
Checked and
間違い
double
あり
checked
ま
the
せん。
photograph. There's no mistaking it. It's him for sure.
ならばさらに運試しだ。
Time to push your luck.
その警備員が入った装置の右側。
Was the right side of the guard's pod lit up?
あ、
Oh.
はい。
Yes, it
何
was.
か
I saw a green
緑
light.
色に光ってました。
なるほどなるほど。
I see, I see.
お前は
You
や
truly are
はり
lucky.
運がいい。その光は
That
この
light
ゲー
is
ムを
proof
やっ
that
てい
he's
る
playing
証だ。
this game.
じゃあゲーム内でその人を
So
探
if
せ
I
ば。
find him in the game,
パスワードを教えてくれるかもしれ
he
ん。
might tell you the password.
モンスターでなければな。
Assuming he's not a monster, that is.
そうですよね。
Forgot about that. I guess it's too early to celebrate.
モンスター化した人って
About
割合
what
的には
percentage
ど
of
れ
the
ぐらいなん
players
ですか？
become monstrified?
わからん。だが
Beats me.
正気を保ってい
But
る
I
プレイヤ
figure they
ーの
outnumber
方
the
が
players who've
少ないだろ
retained
う
their
な。
sanity.
残念ですね。
That is rather
で
unfortunate.
も少ないならいっそ。
Oh. But if there aren't that many sane players,
総あたりで聞いていける
don't tell me you're gonna try to
Nanti
figure it out with brute force.
やっぱり現実の
People
話は
really that
怖がら
afraid
れ
of
ますか。
reality?
そこで運頼りは推
I
奨で
can't
きんな。
recommend you test your luck with that.
運というのは頼
Luck
った
has
途
a
端に消
tendency
える
to
ものだ。
disappear as soon as you rely on it. That is true.
さらに情報を集め
Focus
警
on
備員だ
gathering
と
more
分かった
information.
人物にだけ
Once
打
you've
ち明けろ。
identified the guard, talk to him. And only him. About your real-world situation.
はい、頑張ります。
Okay. I'll do my best.
と言いたいですが、
But before I go,
正直今
honestly,
アルティア
Miss
さんのこと
Althea,
も気になり
I'm
ます。
curious about what you're doing right now. She's been acting kind of restless for a while now. The way direct messages are set up, you can see a transparent image of the other person. It's kind of strange.
今は楽しいイベントの準備中だ。
I'm preparing for a fun event.
遊びギルド主催だが
The Playtime
ギルド
Guild
メン
is
バー以外
sponsoring
も
the
参加
event,
可能なのでな。
but non-guild
声を
members
か
can
けて人を
participate as
集め
well.
ているところだ。
I'm recruiting people and getting the word out.
そうですか。
I see.
頑張ってください。
Good luck. I wanted to ask her to stay by Steve's side, but I guess she's busy for me to ask.
スティ
Is
が
Steve feeling
寂
lonely?
しがっているのか。
これ考えてること全部伝わっちゃうんですか？
Did you hear all of my thoughts?
いや
Nah.
手の動きだ。
I was just watching your
お
hands.
前さっきから
It
銃を
looks
投
like
げ
you're
て
patting
て
thin air.
不審だぞ。
It's kind of strange.
あ
I guess we both look strange on each other's end, huh?
すまないな。
I'm sorry, I
現
can't be
実で
there
も
for
ゲー
you,
ムでも
both in
そ
the
ば
real
にいて
world
やれなくて。
and in the game.
いえ、気にしないでください。
Please don't
ま
worry
た
about
進
it.
展があったら連
I'll
絡します。
contact you if there are any new developments. Guess we both got our hands full too. With that said, I've got no choice but to leave Steve behind and log out. But I can't just leave her here like this. So
遊ぼう、スティ。
let's play, Steve. What better way to ward away the loneliness than fun?
しりとりをしよう。
Let's
じゃ
play
あ
word
僕から
trip.
アルバ
Let's
ム
start with the word
はい。
album. Okay? Your turn.
難しかったかな。
Is
じ
that
ゃ
too
あ
hard?
石。
Then let's go with rock.
C で始まるも
Can
の
you think of
思い
anything
浮かば
that
ないか
starts
な。
with the letter K?
結構あるよ。
There's plenty of K
ほ
words.
ら、動物のお尻に生えてるものと
Are the
か、
things you use with
色と
locks?
か。あ、しだね。同じ言葉を返してくるなんてさすがス
Huh,
ティ。
that's a very
じゃあ
clever
僕
play,
は
Steve.
白
In。that case, I'll go with
だよ。
yellow. Yeah, this isn't very fun when white was right there. Kristen used to bombard me with tons of words ending with the same letter. I guess she's not feeling it without memories.
じゃあ次は
Okay,
追いかけっこだ。
Let's race.
ここから
Whoever
あ
can
の
run over
建
to
物の
that
ところ
building
まで
over
走
there
って
first, win.
先に
ん
位置について
Any marks? Get
お
set.
いド
Let's
ン
go. I start running. But she just stands in place, confused. This isn't working.
よし次はキャッチボールだ。
Okay,
ボールは
how
ないか
about we
ら
play
ちょっ
catch?
と小さい石になるけ
Since
ど
we don't have a ball,
ちゃんと見てね。
I guess a small stone we'll have to do. Keep your eyes peeled, okay?
いくよ
Here we go.
せいや
Catch. I toss a small stone. It heads towards D and
うわースティ
anybody not see that coming? It bonked her on the head.
ごめんね大丈夫
I'm sorry. Are you okay?
本当にごめんね
So sorry.
ゲームだから痛く
I know
ない
it
けど
doesn't hurt since it's a game, but it still must have hurt. What have I done? I'm the worst. I'm a failure of a big brother. No amount of head pats can make up for what I've done. I have to share in Steve's pain.
アバターラティーン僕に石を投げて遠慮なくコツンと
Tim, throw a rock at me. No holding back. Bonk me on the head.
了解
I roger that. Leave it to me.
いったおーくちょっと
Hey,
なん
just
か
one
思
rock
った
will
よ
do
り
things.
多く
The rocks come pouring down like rain. She's throwing them way faster than before.
どんどん行くよ。
Make it
遠慮
rain.
なく。
No holding back.
ちょっと待
Hey, wait, time out. I see. So this is the power of a god fragment, huh? I'm now painfully aware of the god fragment's power. Emphasis on the pain.
遠慮なく、遠慮なく、遠慮なく。
Stop!
トマ
It hurts. It hurts so much. I'm in tears. Hopefully my foolishness can at least bring a smile to Steve's face. She's not even looking. Why would she want to watch you get hurt? I wanted to stay with Steve until she calmed down a little. So I tried to come up with some games to pass the time. I ended up passing a little too much time. That said, I can't just log out right now.
大丈夫
You okay? Steve's mood hasn't gotten any better. If anything, it's getting worse with time. She's hanging her head and not saying much either. Like how she gets when she's holding in her nausea. Can you get sick in this game? I try asking Miss Altia, but she doesn't respond. She must be busy.
少し待っててね。ま
Sit
たアル
tight.
ティアさんに
I'll go call Miss Altia again and...
お兄ちゃん。
Bro. Oh. Steve pushes me down. Something flies overhead not a moment later. No, it's not just something. It's an avatar. I quickly open up my own...
アバターだスティ隠れてて
Steve, hide. Once I get Steve to duck under cover in the shelter, I get another look at the enemy avatar. I've seen this avatar before. If I'm not mistaken, it belongs to the guy who was fighting Dark Cerberus earlier.
アレグロさんですよ
Mr.
ね
Allegro, I presume.
新ボスが俺をご存知と
So the new boss knows me,
はあまり
huh?
にも光栄で
I'm flattered
ヘドが出そうだ
and disgusted.
手を引いてくれませんか
Could you please
あま
back
り
down?
戦いたくないん
I
です
don't want to fight,
特に
especially
あなたとは
not you. Mr. Allegro helped us out. At least indirectly. We owe him.
ダークケルベロスが引けと言ったら
Would you back down
お前
if
は
Dark
引いたのか
Cerberus asked you to?
引きません
No, I wouldn't.
気が合うな
Sounds like we're on the same wavelength then. In that case,
待ってください気が合うならいっそ協力しましょう
sorry. Drinks. Talking, throat, words. Yes. Stuff. Please wait. If we're on the same wavelength, then why don't we cooperate?
何
What? If he's been hunting bosses, then maybe he's trying to clear the game too.
協力できるはずです
I'm sure
僕の
we
目
can
的は
cooperate.
ゲームクリアを見るこ
My
と
goal
で
is
す
to
から
see this game clear.
一緒にクリアを目指しても
If we
目
play the
的は
game
達成でき
together,
ます
then that still counts.
確かに俺はクリアを目指して
My goal is certainly to clear the game
こんなふざけた世界を
in
変え
order
る
to
ために
change
な
this rotten world, that is.
じゃあ
In that case,
だが
but I
協
don't
力しない
cooperate with human mimics.
人
そんな言い方
You don't have to talk like...
から
Here it comes. The avatar named Carla rushes at me. She hits me with her wooden rod before I can
テ
dodge.
ィーン守って
Tin, defend. That said, now that Tin's been enhanced, we won't back down without a fight. Tin quickly moves in to defend me from the second attack.
こんなの全
This
然
doesn't hurt at all. Looks like my hunch was right. His avatar Carla is a defense type. That must mean their strategy is to endure with defense while attacking slowly but surely. Her attacks are infrequent, and they're not that strong either. And her weapon is a wooden rod. It's very short range. bothers me is those glowing eyes. She's staring at Tin with. What could that mean? I didn't mind when I saw those eyes from a distance, but they're kind of eerie seeing them up close. Maybe I'm thinking too deeply about it, so I'll just end things before I drown in my thoughts.
シュラルさんの時のように戦って
Fight like how we fought with Miss Cheryl.
わかったよ。
Got it. Tin takes a hit as she moves around the battlefield, scattering rocks everywhere. And then, in the blink of an eye, the rocks are floating everywhere.
引け
Draw back.
させない
Not on my watch.
ひっくり
Let's
返
flip
して
them
あ
over.
げちゃうよ。
Stones all flip over at once as they fly towards the fleeing Carla. At least that's what it looks like. I told Tin to fight how we fought with Miss Cheryl. And then I told her to aim at the player. The rocks flip over a second time and rain down on Mr. Allegro instead.
カラ
Carla! The downpour of rocks scatters mud and forms a dust cloud. Several seconds later, once the rocks of dust settle, Carla's able to save Allegro from the full brunt of the attack. I'm impressed she was able to get to him in time. What's really surprising is her level of defense. How could she still have stamina left after getting hit by all those rocks? Well, looks like that still hurt though.
なぜ
Why are you
お
making
前が
that
そんな
face?
顔をする？
変ですよね
Strange, isn't it? I feel their pain, even though I'm the one who inflicted it. It pains my heart to see Carla so desperate to protect Allegro, even though she's injured head to toe. Does it always hurt this much to inflict pain on others?
歌原
Utara,
ほうけているなら好都合。
if you're just gonna stand there, then fine by me. Next, I'll... I was waiting for that. During the fight with Cheryl, Tin did end it with a giant rock, so I was waiting for that. Oh, excuse me, my cold is getting the better of me. Something falls down and blocks my vision entirely. Is that one of Tin's stones? No, it can't be. It's way too big. It must be debris. Looks like a crumbling column finally gave way, and Leg was in the wrong place at the wrong time. The debris fell on top of him.
大丈夫ですか
Are you okay? His hands are caught under the debris. It doesn't look like he can move his fingers. Which probably means he can't call out a new avatar. In fact, he doesn't look like he can move at all. He keeps struggling to slip out of the debris, but to no avail.
大丈夫です僕もティーンも力あるので
I can
持
use
ち上げます
Tim's
から
power. We'll lift it up. So as not to cause concern, I force a smile on my face and start picking up the debris. Huh? Was that?
スティ
Steve! Big bro. Steve dangles in the air. A part of her body dyed red. Don't like where this is going. I lower my eyes. Well, he may be smaller than when we last saw him. It's
ダークキルベロス
Dark Cerberus?
捕まえた
Gotcha! What's with this timing? Was Mr. Allegro working with Dark Cerberus this whole time? No, it doesn't look like they're together.
ティーンスティを
Get Steve.
待て
No, so
攻
fast.
撃した
Attack me,
瞬間
and I kill
こ
her.
いつは
Steve looks to be about 60% red right now. One more attack will cause her to red out. One more broken memory and it's game over for her. Can I rescue Steve before she takes another hit? be a gamble.
助かったっ
What do you
て
mean? You're
硬い
stubborn,
だけど
but weak.
弱
Oh, you're
え
squabbling.
や
You
つ
left wide open.
お前が
新ボス
Hey,
旧ボスを殺して
you,
なかったのか
you didn't kill the old boss?
すみません
I'm sorry.
瓦礫どかすの
I'll
後
have to
回
dig
し
you
に
out
さ
of
せ
the
てください
debris some other time. I've made a fatal mistake. Didn't Miss Cheryl tell me to be aware of my surroundings at all times?
目的は神のかけらですか
It's the God fragment you want, isn't it? If you don't want Steve to die,
死なせ
then
た
red
く
out
なけれ
without
ば
resisting.
そんなことしなくても
There's
譲
no
渡し
need.
ますよ
I'll hand it over.
その手には乗
You're
ら
just
ね
saying
え
that. You can snatch the
そう言
hostage, aren't
って
you?
人質を奪うつもりだろだから
That's why a red out is the best bet. If I capitulate, I'll red out, I'll lose a memory, and he'll steal back the God fragment. I'd still be fine with that, but that's not the end of it. If Dark Cerberus becomes a boss again, he'll regain the strength he just lost. If he does, then I doubt he can beat him with Charles. That is Miss Cheryl's memory, which Steve's holding on to right now. Then he'll just kill both Steve and me. I knew it. It was only a fluke that he beat me. I keep my eye on Dark Cerberus as I withstand the pain. He's no longer a boss. Perhaps as a result of that, he's smaller than before. He must have also lost his ability to gain resistance to attacks. Furthermore, his empathy ratio is lower than before. So I guess that means empathy ratios can change even after monstrification. Apparently, Dark Cerberus formed a dependency on a memory based on the thought, I am strong. So it's no stretch of the imagination to assume that his decreased empathy ratio is connected to me defeating him. Individually, his attacks are as strong as before, but his attack speed has dropped dramatically. He's got one hand full, holding Steve hostage. In that case, I'll overreact to his attacks. I'll pretend even a flesh wound is a fatal injury. I melodramatically fall to the ground on my hands and knees. Then I tumble with the next attack, making it look as if I had been knocked off my feet. This way I can buy some time as I make him lower his guard. In the meantime, I'll wait for Steve to recover. One more attack. If Steve can recover enough to endure just one more attack, it'll increase our odds of victory. Attack after attack after attack. Endure, dodge, scream. That pain endurance training should come in handy here. To make my acting more convincing, all I need to do is remember how it felt back then. Steve. I'm sorry. You must be worried since it looks like I'm in great pain. But I'm fine. It's frustrating that I can't tell her that. Soon I'll be free to do as I please once again. No, not yet. Don't panic. Keep quiet, keep calm, open your eyes. Hold out until the very last moment. Wait until you're on the verge of a red out. Give Steve as much time to recover as possible. What does that sound? Now. My body is about 90% red. I fall over and pretend to red out, making sure to cover the parts of me that aren't red. It's all an act. I lunge forward and make a mad dash. Save Steve. Leave it to me. I'll kill you. strike Steve. Thank goodness. She narrowly manages to avoid a red out. Meanwhile, Tin flips over the stones as usual. Thanks to our earlier battle, tons of stones are already scattered on the battlefield. Okay, let's go. Dozens of stones jolt Dark Cerberus' arm, causing them to drop. This way. I grab Steve's arm and pull her up to her feet. You okay? She looks deathly pale. I can't blame her. After all, seeing she... Sorry for scaring you. Covering Steve's frail body, I confront Dark Cerberus once again. You little... How dare you survive? One problem down, one to go. I guess Dark Cerberus just always had thick skin. That attack barely did any damage. All it did was jolt his arm. If I want to make him red out, I need to raise my empathy ratio and change to a better weapon. But...
他人の記憶だというのに、あれほど急激に共感できる人間は初めて見た。
I've never seen someone sympathize so suddenly with someone else's memory like that.
だからこそ、
On the flip side,
お前さんは特別
you might
自
be
分を見
susceptible
失
to
いやす
losing
く、
sight of yourself
戦う
and
だけで
monster
モンスター
eyes
化
as
し
a
てし
result
まう
of
のか
battle
もしれない。
alone.
気をつけた方がいい。
You gotta be careful. I got too immersed in someone else's memory. So can I really expect to dive into my own memory and not lose sight of my current self? There's no time to hesitate. If I don't fight now, I'll lose Steve. In that case, let's make both of you game. Dive into the memory, immerse yourself into it, let it soak into you. Deeper. No, not that deep. It's getting too dark. The blink of an eye, I get dragged in deep. My emotions get overwritten. Hey, do you know this game? I bet you don't. It's called Reversey. Let's play, big bro. At this rate, I'll become an abomination trapped in the past.
焼き尽くせセマ
Sema,
終焉の炎
flames of demise. Wait, if he's that strong, why was he fighting with... What was his other one's name? Sorry, sometimes it's hard to remember things. Yes, even things that just happened. I don't remember. Anyway. When I open my eyes, I see Dark Cerberus impaled on a blazing tree. Fire spreads to his body as he melts little by little. His memory card becomes a shattered memory, and the light of blessing born from it goes to Mr. Allegro, who dealt the final blow. Mr. Allegro calmly steps up and takes it.
思った通り油切った体はよく燃える
His body was flammable thanks to all that grease.
やっぱり
I hate to do it.
あれ演技だ
It
った
was
んで
all
す
an
ね
act, wasn't it? I knew something was off when I was picking up the debris. Namely, the fact that I could pick it up at all. It wasn't immobilizing, and yet Mr. Allegro resigned himself to being buried alive. In other words,
本来はお前を燃やす予定だったんだろうな
my original plan was to burn you alive. Sema, the avatar that attacked Dark Cerberus, had appeared from behind the debris. Must have been Sema that caused the debris to fall in the first place.
助けてくれ俺様は死にたく
No.
なぜわめく
What are you whining about?
お前が言ったんだろ
Didn't you say it yourself?
弱者
That the
は
weak
死ぬ
should die?
弱者なんて違う
I'm not.
俺様は
Dark surface protects body collapses. Ankle. The words that Kristen once said in the past play back in my head. Bro, this little one died. The first time I fought him, I thought this guy was an empty abomination. But I was wrong. He wasn't empty. Inside the massive lump of burning flesh, I see a little silhouette of a man. I don't. Considering the shell's original massive size, he's not empty, just pitifully tiny. The being known as Dark Cerberus was certainly human.
いつの日か絶対に昔のような文明を取り戻して楽しい世界にしてみせるよ。
What makes the world a fun place again? What happened to the promise I made back then? Mr. Dark Cerberus was once a precious being who contributed to human civilization too, wasn't he? Are we really okay with losing him? From his voice and his movements, I can feel intense fear and despair. My heart hurts. I rush over to him without thinking. Hey, I'm sorry. You must be in pain. Why are you apologizing? He's the lowest of scum. Yes, I agree. But now, I don't know why, but I just can't ignore him right now. He's an enemy, a villain. He's the scoundrel who killed Miss Cheryl. He was a monster. He had to die. Death was the only option for him. I said as much myself just a while ago. But now that I see him in so much pain and dread, I just can't feel that way anymore. He starts flailing his arms. That's how I was when I melted away too. I was afraid. I didn't want to die. So I grasped his flailing hand. It's goopy. It's quickly melting away. The remnant of his hand is sticky and muddy, and yet it quickly drips onto the ground due to its massive weight. But it would probably melt away even faster if I didn't hold it. So I hold his hand tight. So tight. Mr. Dark Cerberus, I'm sorry. I didn't notice who you were inside until it was too late. What are you saying? Shut up and save me. Help. You gotta... You're human. You had a life. A life I couldn't protect. I'm sorry. His deep red husk melts away with the human inside, disappearing completely. There's not a trace of what was once inside. Mr. Allegro, can we postpone our battle for a moment? May I ask why? I want to let Steve rest. And I want to prepare a grave, too. I want him to leave something behind. Even if it's just an empty grave. I want him to at least leave his name behind. I let Steve rest underneath the cover of a tree as I dig a grave. I can't believe you dig a grave for him. You forget he took your sister hostage. I can't believe you wait patiently, Mr. Allegro. Did you forget he took my sister hostage? I've got my back turned to him, and Steve's resting defenselessly by a tree. This would be the perfect opportunity to red out both of us. I wouldn't interrupt a funeral. I'm not that heartless. I knew it. Mr. Allegro agreed to a temporary truce. He doesn't seem like a bad guy.
助けてくれ
Thank
て
you
ありが
very
とうご
much
ざい
for
ます
saving us back there.
いいのか感
You
謝して
sure you want to thank me?
そいつを始末
I'm
し
the
たの
one
は
who
俺
got
だ
rid
ぞ
of him. Remember?
殺さなければならなかったこと
He
は
had to be killed.
理解してます。
I understand that.
理解してても
I understand that. But
今の僕は
at the moment,
多分
I don't think I had it in
殺
me
せ
to
なか
kill
っ
him.
た。
It was heartrending for me to hurt Carla. Mr. Allegro's avatar. I hesitated. If that was tough for me, then even if I did write out Mr. Dark Cerberus, even if I did write out Mr. Dark Cerberus, I don't think I'd have it in me to deal the final blow. But that would only result in more suffering.
だからありがとうございます。後悔してるのは
What I do
何も
regret
聞けなかったことで
is that
す。
I couldn't hear his story.
お別れする前
If
に
only I could have learned at
少
least
しで
a
もこ
little
の人
about
の
his
ことを
past
知れた
before
ら
he
よかった
passed.
のに。
That way, he could at least leave behind his story, his past and who he was.
知りたいか
You want to know.
わかるんですか？
You know his past.
前
I saw it when I fought him earlier.
見たって
Saw it? Mr. Allegro quickly explains what he means. It's Carla, that's her name. The eyes. She can see the memories. When he was a child, Mr. Dark Cerberus apparently had a girlfriend. But she became a transfer student, whatever that means, and had to move far away. They still kept in touch, but one day, even that started to decrease. Worried, he went to see her, only to find her kissing another boy. Enraged, Mr. Dark Cerberus started to pick a fight, but the girlfriend sided with the new boy. Ever since then, Mr. Dark Cerberus began to distrust women in general. Even as he grew older and got a new girlfriend, he couldn't fully trust her. He suspected her of cheating several times. As a result, she broke up with him. Taking that as an admission to her infidelity, Mr. Dark Cerberus pinned the blame entirely on her. The cycle continued, again and again and again. Several cycles later, he came to the conclusion that if everyone is deceptive, he should deceive others before they deceived him. He believed that might makes right.
聞いてどう思った
So what are your thoughts on his story?
ダークケルベロスさんは以前楽しいって言
Mr.
って
Dark
たんです。
Cerberus once said tormenting
他人
people
を
was
苦しめ
fun.
て
He
いじ
found
め
the
るのが
suffering of
楽しい。
others fun.
最低だな
What a scumbag.
確かに
I do
やり
think his
方は
methods
悪か
were
ったと
wrong.
思います。
Just because
自
someone
分が
tormented
苦しめられたから
you
って
doesn't justify tormenting
関
another
係ない
man.
人を苦しめていい理由にはならない。でも今
But now
は
I
ほ
feel
んの少しだけ
Like I can understand how
彼
he
の気
felt.
持ちもわかるんです。
At least a little bit.
わかる
You understand him?
ダークケルベロスさんはきっと
I'm sure Mr. Dark
負けて
Cerberus didn't want to lose anything.
奪われたくなかったんだと
He
思い
didn't
ます。
want anything to be taken from him. He was always a taker, trampling down on the rights of others. That's why he used any and every excuse he could find to torment others. The more people he trampled, the bigger he felt. It didn't matter who he trampled or why. The high of being on top must have been fun to him.
遅くなってしまったけど
I know it's
少
too
しで
late,
も彼の気持ちが理
but I
解
feel
できた
like
気
I
がします。
understand his feelings now, at least a little.
だから教えてくれてありがと
So
うござ
thank
い
you
ま
for
す。
telling me his story. In his final days, Mr. Dark Cerberus was a rampaging boss monster, tormenting everyone around him. However, he and I had one thing in common: the desperation to not have something taken away from us. Let's engrave his story as a memory. Once I finish planting the grave marker in the ground, I stand up.
終わりました。
I'm done. Steve still doesn't look so good. But I can't keep Mr. Allegro waiting any longer. It's time to continue our match where we left off.
終わったか そうか。
You're done, huh? I see. I'll just let him do the laughing.
何がおかしいんですか？
What's so funny?
お前の下手くそな字が
Your
最高だからさ。
handwriting. It's so hilariously bad.
と
What?
お前の書いたその言語は
The
な、
language you wrote that in.
昔にはなかったものらしい。
Apparently it didn't exist in the past. What are you
何の
implying?
話ですか？
He's not wrong. But why does he know that? Did he learn about it from someone else? Or
ごまかしても無駄だ。
don't play dumb.
お前が持つ記
Your
憶に
memories
は
show the world after the fall of
文明崩壊
civilization.
後の景色もあった。
あった？
What?
まるで見たような
Why
言い
are you
方を。
talking like you've seen my... Come to think of it. Mr. Allegro talked about Mr. Dark Cerberus' past in surprising detail. Did he see it firsthand? Yep, Carla's eyes.
あなたのアバターの目、
That avatar is
綺
yours.
麗でしたね。
Sure has beautiful eyes.
ああ、
Indeed.
すべてを見通す
Lovely eyes that see through
美しい目
everything.
だ。
So you're telling me that your avatar has the ability to see through memories. In that case, just how much has he seen? What'll he do now that he knows I live in the real world? I brace myself. He then reaches out his hand.
さっきは悪かった。
Sorry about all that.
え？
Huh?
今を生きる者同士、
As fellow humans living
改
in
め
the
て協
present,
力したい。
I'd like for us to cooperate.
今を生きる。
What do you mean by living in the present?
俺も
I'm alive too.
生きてる。
He's alive? As in, living in the real world?
普通に歩
Do
い
you
てます
walk
か？
on your own 2 feet?
ああ、
Yeah,
なんなら走
I
って
can
る。
even run too.
ご飯食べてますか？
Do you eat food?
狩りには自信がある。
I'm a skilled hunter.
怪我したらどうしますか？
What happens when you get injured?
歯を食いしばって治療する。
Grit my teeth and treat my wounds. Do you
ログアウト
log out?
してますか？
Mr. Allegro closes his mouth when I ask that question. Instead, he writes in the dirt with his finger.
しないと死ぬだろ。
I'm just gonna let you read that. Yes, of
そ
course.
うですよね。
That's right.
そうなんです。
Normally it'd be
ログ
impossible
イ
to
ンし
stay
続
locked
け
in
るなんて
forever.
何がおかしい。
What's so funny?
アレグロさんの下手くそな字。
It's so hilariously
最高
bad,
ですから
Mr. Allegro. It's
お
better than
前よ
yours,
りはう
isn't
まい
it?
だろ。
I can't help but laugh. After all, I'm just so happy. I'm not the only person living in the real world after all. I have found someone else. I am not alone.
どうしましょう、アレグロさん。
What do you do, Mr.
大変
Allegro?
です。
I'm so happy.
嬉しい。
I'm so happy I
嬉しい
can't
です。
contain myself.
どうもこうも
What's wrong with that?
喜べ
If
ば
you're
いいだろ
happy,。be happy.
俺も同じだか
Because
ら
I
な。
feel the same way. Yeah, no kidding. I can hear the joy in Mr. Allegro's voice.
アレグロでいい。
Just call me
話し方
Allegro.
ももっと楽にしろ。
Sorry, I read that wrong. I need to do the voice. Just call me Allegro. No need to be so formal. I don't know why he has a deep voice like that. That's just kind of how I see him, so until my brain switches gears and we decide that that's not his voice, that gets to be his voice.
あ
Gotcha.
あ、わかった。
Glad to know you, Allegro.
よろしく、アレグロ。
I say that as I grasp his hand.
よろしく。
Glad to know you too. Rest. His firm grasp fills me with joy all over again. And Steve is confused.
ごめんね。もうちょっと頑張ろうね。
Hang in there just a little longer, okay? I decide to move to a safer area, so I carry Steve on my back. Walking up ahead, Allegra looks at us over his shoulder and speaks up.
一つ言っておくことがある。
I have a
お
request.
前は許可なく
Don't step out of my sight without permission.
常に
Stay
見える
within my
範囲
field
に
of view at all times.
僕のこと
You don't trust me?
疑って
当然だ
Of course not.
共に行動するということは
Working with someone means opening
いつでも
yourself up
狙
to
えると
getting
いう
stabbed
こと
in the
だ
back at any time.
仲間なんだからそんなこと
Friends
しない
don't
よ。
betray friends.
口だけなら
Yeah,
何とでも言える
we'll talk is cheap.
分かったよ。
Fine, I get it. I thought we'd gotten closer since we shook hands, but I guess I was wrong. We've only just met, so I guess I can't blame him, though. I'll just have to work hard to gain his trust. At least, that's what I thought. He's been acting strange for a while now. Nico keeps darting his eyes back and forth. That's fine and all, but for some reason it's not caution in his eyes that I see. What is it then? I feel like I've seen eyes like those in the past.
ああ
Ah. I'm so distracted and thought I'd trip on some debris. I fall face first with D still on my back. I can't just let go of her, so I end up falling flat on my face. Yeah, he's got to keep Steve safe. I've got a face full of dirt. But it doesn't hurt, so it's no big...
ゲストどうだ
Where are you? Can he not see me because Steve's on top of me? And we're in the grass?
約束破ってごめん。
Sorry
ちょっ
for
と
breaking
転
our
んじゃって
promise. I just tripped. That's all. I say that as I start standing up. But before I can get up...
ゲストハバターラアババターラ
Oh my goodness, we have found another insane character. Which, it's a VN, it's an anime, it's perfectly natural for everybody to be completely insane. And also, hello Tebble, welcome in Raiders, welcome in everybody. Give me half a second. There we go. Yes. Welcome in. We're gonna have to change Allegro's voice, aren't we? He doesn't seem very deep-voiced and serious anymore. Anyway, sorry about that. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Tebble. How is everybody doing today? How was stream? How was... And I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. How was Honkai Star Rail? Today was a good stream. That's good. That's awesome. Always glad to hear. I love when stream. I love when things go well. The less problems, the better. So, as you can see, we're playing some visual novel today. I love visual novels. I jump back and forth between all sorts of games, but visual novels are definitely some of my favorites. It's kind of like reading an anime, which just makes it a manga, but you know what I mean. Anyway, and this one so far has been literally a massive emotional roller coaster up and down all over the place. It's really good. And let me see, I'm trying to remember. Honkai Star Rail was made by the same people that made Genshin, correct? And if so, does it also have like 80-something characters to collect? Because I think, I don't know if he said 80 exactly, but I think I was talking to Gamer Incognito the other day, and he said there was close to 80 characters for Genshin. And I need to get back to Genshin, but I was thinking of eventually starting Honkai Star Rail. I actually started, I got past the intro, but then I got like 800 other games and got distracted, as I do. And I ramble when I talk, if you haven't noticed. Oh, excuse me. Ow. And I'm not saying that I'm fantastic at visual novels. Good night, Devil. Thank you for the raid. I'm glad you had a good stream. We will see you next time. I'm not muted, am I? That would be embarrassing if I was muted the entire time. I don't think I'm muted. Am I muted? I'm not muted. Or my mic's broken. One or the other. Or I'm just not loud enough for the mic to pick me up. Either way. Either way, have a good night, Tevil. Thank you again. Let's see. So after this revelation, I'm going to guess what this means is Allegro is afraid of losing people? Because I don't know if I can do his voice like that now. We might have to change his voice. We'll see what happens. Huh? Why did only one come out? Avatar left. It's not working. Yeah, well, it's not going to work if you say either. That is a good point. Find her now. Okay, leave it to me. Carla heads off to who knows where. I'll just stand up for now. I'm right here, okay? Utara. I told you not to leave my sight without permission, didn't I? Yeah, my bad. Well, suit yourself. Each time you disappear, you only lose a bit of my trust. Well, at least he's cooled down a little. I'll be more careful from now on. Now I remember. Allegro's eyes remind me of Kristen's eyes when she was little. Back then, Kristen would stick with me wherever I'd go. She told me not to go anywhere without her. So I guess Allegra's the same way, huh? He's more lonely than I thought. If he gets like this as soon as we start working together, then who knows how clingy he'll get when someone butters him up enough. I can understand that feeling. I can see us getting along. Says the guy who just violated my trust. I've just got that feeling, you know? I can abandon you at any time. Don't you dare forget that. Even as he says that, Allegro keeps glancing at me. Allegro was right earlier. Talk certainly is cheap.
それで その男を信
So
用
you
したのか。
decided to trust that man?
はい、事情も一通り話しました。
I explained my circumstances to him too. I told him how Steve can't log out or fight, and how I'm currently locked in the facility in the real world. Allegra listened to me seriously.
まったく
Good
甘い
grief.
というかなんという
I
か。
don't know if you're naive or just
その
plain
男
gullible.
本当に現実で活動しているのか。
Are you sure that man's really living in the real world?
ログアウトするところを見せてもらいました。
I got him to log out in front of me.
それにすごいんですよ。
And
機
he's
械に
amazing.
書かれた文字、大体
He
読めるっ
says he
て。
can more or less read the words on the machines. Apparently, Allegra was born in a village that attracted people from all over. As a result, they spoke many different languages, and he naturally picked up various words.
だから僕が現実で見
So
た
I
文字を
memorized
ゲーム
the
内で
letters
書いて
seen
読んで
in the
もらえ
real
ば
world, and
もっ
write them
と
out
情
here in
報
the
が
game.
集められるんです。
He can read them for me and get me even more info.
その男が正しく
Assuming
翻
he
訳
can
すれば
provide
な。
accurate translations, that is.
そこは信じます。
I believe in him. Allegra is now looking after Steve whenever I'm logged out. If I don't place my trust in him, there's nothing I can do.
分か
Okay.
った。これ
If
以
he
上
takes
言う
it
の
for
は
me
野
to
暮だ
say
な。
anything more, just
あとは
leave the
そ
rest
の
up to
男に
that
任せ
man.
よ。ただ
However,
一つ知ってほしいんだ
there's
が、
one thing I'd like you to know.
私も少し勉強すればどんな
I
文字で
can
も
read
読めるよう
any
にな
written
る。
language I want if I just study a little.
そうなんですか。すごいですね。
That's amazing. Is she just that competitive? It'd probably be tasteless for me to ask.
会話は終わりか？
You done talking?
うん。
Yeah. Was everything
大丈
okay?
夫だ。
何の話だ？
What do you mean?
今少し離れた
I
か
mean, I
ら。
stepped away for a little bit.
言われなくとも
Like it
ず
or
っと
not,
警戒してた
I
さ。
was watching you the whole time. Honestly, I did feel his lonely gaze the whole time.
スティの様子ど
How's Steve?
悪いな。
Not great.
俺との
We're
相
not
性。
exactly getting along either. I can see bite marks on Allegra's hand.
う？ごめん。普段はこんなことする子じゃないんだけど。
She's normally not the type of girl who'd do that.
平気だ。慣れてる。
It's fine.
原因も分かってる。
Got a pretty good idea what's causing it, too.
おそらくダークキルベロスの感
She's
情を受け取
probably
りすぎた。
overly influenced by Dark Cerberus emotions.
感情を受け取る。
Influenced how?
光の玉。
The light orbs.
そこら辺にあるだろ
You can see them floating around, can't you?
あ、綺麗だよねこれ。
These things? They're beautiful.
う。見た目はな。
On the outside, yeah.
中身は違う。
But on the inside, no. Inside? Can they really be that bad? Now that I get a better look at them, they're clearly not your ordinary light. They're like soap bubbles with something glowing on the inside. I reach out to one to see what it's like. It moves about as if trying to avoid my hand. But I quickly catch it and poke it. Just like a soap bubble. It easily pops.
死ぬ死ぬ死ね
So the memories of players who get killed aren't gone. They just become energy for the game? That's what powers the world. Did I just accidentally solve the game? Whoa.
どうだ？
What do you think?
小さかったけど声が聞こえた。
But I heard a voice.
あと
Also?
ちょっと嫌な気分になったような。
それが
Those
ダ
were
ーク
Dark
キルベロ
Cerberus
スの感
emotions.
情だ。
Monsters scattered
モン
these
スター
orbs
は
around.
特に
And as
そ
the
のモン
monster
スター
gets
の力
stronger,
が強いほど
spreads a greater number
光の
of
玉
light
を
orbs
大
into
量
a
に出し
wider area.
拡散力も高くなる。
Now that I think about it, I do remember seeing light orbs floating out of Mr. Dark Cerberus' body.
この光の玉は
So these light orbs are
モン
filled
ス
with
ターの
monster
感情が
emotions?
詰ま
ああ。それによってシティは苦しんでるわけだ。
That's why they're causing Steve here to suffer.
そっか。
I see. If she's been bombarded with these negative emotions, it's no wonder she's not doing well. I stroke Steve's cheek, hoping it'll soothe her, even just a little bit.
でもなんでスティだ
But
け
why is it just Steve?
僕はあまり気にならないよ。
These things aren't even really phasing me.
光の玉は
The
共
lower
感
the
率の
total
総量が
empathy
低い
ratio
方に
value,
寄ってきて
the closer the
声も
light
大
orbs
きく聞
approach
こえ
you,
る。
and the louder the voices become.
つまり
In
お
other
前
words,
は強い、
you're strong.
スティは弱い。
Steve's weak.
その差だ。
That's the difference.
強いと記憶カードが守ってく
Strong.
れる。
Your memory cards will protect you. Is that it?
おそらくな。
Probably.
だから
So
記
be
憶を
cautious
壊され
when
た後
memory
は気を
shatters.
つけろ。
You'll be more
その玉の
susceptible
影
to the
響も受
orbs,
けてモンスター化しやすい。
more susceptible to monstrification. I see. Not only do you lose your memory, muddying your sense of self, you have to fight off the light orbs in that precarious state. You'll be stuck with various emotions of strangers, which is sure to confuse you and make you lose sight of yourself. Perhaps the influence of these light orbs were a factor in Miss Cheryl's monstrification too.
それに俺たちはログアウトするだろう。
Also, we can
現
log out,
実に戻れ
remember?
ば影響を断ち切れ
We
る。
get cut off from the influence when we return to the real world.
だがログアウトしない奴にとっては
But for the people who can't log out,
これが当たり前だ。
this is just a fact of their simulated lives.
影響を受け続けるせいで気づかず、この事実を知らん奴の方が多い。
Most people are unaware of this fact because they've been under the influence so long. They don't even notice anything's influencing them.
じわじわ洗脳されてるんだね。
They're slowly being brainwashed, huh? When I think about it like that, I can kind of understand the attitude of the people in the village from earlier. Many of them had lost in battle and run away. So their total empathy ratios must have been low, meaning they lacked resistance to these light orbs. Perhaps that's why they came to hate various things. And most of them became monstrified after losing their last pillar of support, Miss Cheryl.
共感率を上げれば影響を受けずに
Okay,
済むっ
so
てこと
I
は分
get
かっ
that you
た。
can eliminate the influence by raising empathy ratios.
スティの場合は
But in Steve's particular case,
アバターを出せないと共感率は上
you
がる
can't
な。
exactly raise an avatar's empathy ratio if you can't manifest it, can you?
ごめんねスティ。
I'm sorry.
せめて僕が盾になるよ。
I'll try to shield you from them at least.
それも無理だな。
I doubt that'll work.
お前の妹は吸引力
Your
が強
sister's
すぎる。
attracting the orbs too strongly. What if we use a path that avoids the light orbs? Nah, that seems like it's out of the question. I'm pretty sure I've seen these light orbs floating around everywhere I've gone in this game.
お前、祝福の
How
光
many
は
lights of
何枚
blessing
持っ
do
て
you
る？
have?
1枚だけなら
Just one.
俺は
So
この
you
通
see?
り4
I've
枚
got
だ。
four.
こ
So
れで
between
一
the
つぐ
two
ら
of
い修
us,
復
we
でき
should
るだ
have
ろう。
about enough to restore one memory.
くれるの？
You give them to us? I'm sure Allegra would want to keep these in case of his own memories get shattered.
子供に噛まれるのは好きじゃない。
Can't say I'm a fan of getting bitten by kids. Thanks.
ありがとう。
I take him up on his offer. Huh. Two of these are a different color than the others.
祝福の光は
Lights of blessing
モン
dropped
スタ
by
ーから得た
monsters
ものと
look a bit different
プレイ
from
ヤ
those
ーから
dropped
得た
by
もので
players.
は少し光が違う。
Someone has a lot of the latter.
プレイヤーからのものが多
It's
い
a red flag.
警戒対象。
So did he obtain these two lights by shattering their memories of other players? My heart churns at the thought. Now's not the time to look a gift horse in the mouth, though.
スティ、アルバム出せるかな？
Steve, can you bring out your album? I look at Steve's shattered memories. Which one of these can be recovered with 5 lights again? Right, this one. I'm so glad it didn't make me try to remember. Because there's no way I would have been able to. I quickly placed the 5 lights of blessing onto the shattered memory. Upon which... the memory card overflows with light. Its title changes from Shattered Memory to Study Days. In exchange, the lights of blessing fade away. And?
どう？少しは楽になった？
Feel a little better now?
少し
A little better.
言葉わかるの？
Understand? A little.
そっか。
I see. Thank
よ
you.
かった。
Judging by the title Study Days, it's probably her memory of Dad teaching her various things.
ありがとう、アレグロ。
Thank you, Allegro.
別に
It
気
was
休め
nothing.
だ。記憶が一つ戻
Seriously,
っても
don't expect much.
共感率は
A
大して
single
高くな
recovered
いだろう。
memory won't raise your total empathy ratio that much, you know. True. Steve's empathy ratio with Study Days is a mere 3%. The light orbs keep coming after her even as we speak. But it seems to have gotten at least a little better.
それでも助かったよ。
It's still a big help, though.
ありがとう。あれ
Thank you, Big Bro. Allegro? Oh, looks like Steve's gotten a bit closer to Allegro, too. So on this worry, I can go ahead and log out now with some peace of mind. My throat's dry. I try to swallow some saliva, but all that accomplishes is making my throat hurt even more. I'm so dizzy, and the splitting headache won't go away. Every so often, my mind blanks out and my body goes limp. It seems my extreme dehydration is only accelerating. I need water. Quick. But it's not like I can find any. There's no water to be found anywhere in this facility. How many times have I checked? I give up and start tinkering with this machine. According to Allegro, this machine is called a computer. When I move this thing around, the information on the screen changes. Now that Steve's doing better, I've been logging in and out, getting Allegro to read text for me. Apparently, most of these documents contain written reports, notices, and other information about the facility. It's all pretty much irrelevant to me right now, except for one thing. There was a diary left on this computer, and the computer's owner? The guard. April 20th. Weather, sunny. My wife and child were placed inside hibernation pods today. My wife asked me to keep a diary. Since I've been employed as a guard, it'll be years, maybe even decades before I go into a pod. During that time, I can't contact my family. That's why my wife wants me to keep a diary so that I can tell her all that's happened when she wakes up. You're forgetful. After all, my wife said with a smile. It was a smile that could see right through me. That said, I know my wife too, and I know that she's afraid of me forgetting. She's afraid that I'd forget her and our daughter. As if I could forget about them while they're in the pods. She can really worry too much sometimes. So to ease my wife's worries, I recommended her to play the game Archetype Arcadia. Normally when you're unconscious while in the pods. But you can play the game from inside there, allowing you to remain conscious, so to speak. Okay, so at this point, we don't really know if the people that die in the game die in the pods. There's a possibility that they get logged out of the game. So it's like dying, but they're still in their pod. But they can't reactivate the game. Or because their subconscious is pretty sure they died in the game, it's shut down. It doesn't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, it's been a long time since I've played any games. But apparently this one was once popular in the past. So it can't be bad, can it? And most importantly, in this game, you can recall your memories over and over again. Not only can you treasure your memories, but you can converse with people in game, regardless of who's in a pod or not. My wife and daughter were delighted to hear that. That said, I only told them second-hand info from my boss, and the company's got a financial interest in the game. I heard the same recommendation from my coworkers who were in charge of other hibernation facilities, which got a little on my nerves. I was still thankful for the recommendations, though. As a result, I was able to get my hands on a game device, and those are normally fairly hard to obtain. I won't be able to actually start playing the game until things settle down at work. So for now, I'll be sure to keep a diary. April 25th, weather's sunny. Today I finally get to play the online game with my wife and daughter. My daughter came up with my player name. I quite like it. I'm just not sure how to evaluate this game. It's hard to believe it's even a game after all. The only frame reference I have for games is what I played with at a friend's house when I was a child. I was in shock and awe at the time. It was fun, but this is downright terrifying. Since when did games become this advanced? My wife and daughter were really there in the game. I could talk with them, touch them, and even eat with them. I'm not very interested in the in-game combat, but the memory experience corner is simply splendid. You can experience just about anything you'd want. Along the way, I even forgot it was a game. I accidentally called my wife and daughter by their real names, and they got mad at me. My daughter was delighted to see me again in game and took a family photo. Apparently, this is called a screenshot. I decided to save this commemorative screenshot, so the guard had family. They played archetype Arcadia together. If you save that photo, then... Found it. This image should reveal who the player is. With that hope in mind, I open up the photo, and it's going to be Mr. Candy, isn't it? There he is on the right, smiling. Called it! I recognize that player. It's Mr. Candy. Do we get to see the photo?
あなたは現実で警備員として働いてたんですね。
You're working as a guard in the real world, huh? Mr. Candy sighed when that's the first thing he hears out of my mouth.
なんだ?
What's this?
新顔まで揃えてま
You
たお
bring
と
in
ぎ
new
話
faces
か?
just to talk fairy tale nonsense again?
こことは別の世界。
There's
現
another
実は
world
ありま
outside
す。
of here. The real world.
あります。
Real.
あなたは警備員として
I know for a
ハイ
fact
バネー
you
シ
were
ョ
a
ン施
guard in
設
the
の
real
パスワー
world.
ドを設定したはずなん
You
です
set your hibernation facility's password.
おいおい、なんかやけに迫力が。
I can tell he's confused, but can't slow down.
信じてください。
Please believe
現
me.
実の僕は今
I'm
施
locked
設
in
に
the
閉じ込め
facility
ら
in
れ
the
てま
real
す。
world. I need the
パス
password
ワー
to
ド
get
が
out.
わから
そんな妄想を言われても
But I can't
な
help
あ。
you with your delusions.
逆に聞こ
Let's
う。
look at
現
this
実がないと
another
する
way.
なら
If the real
ロ
world
グアウ
doesn't
トとは
exist,
何だ？
then what does log out mean?
そりゃあれだろう。
It's
壊れ
just
た
a
機
broken
能だ。
function, isn't it?
GM コールってやつと
Just
同
like
じ
the
だ。
old GM. So
ログアウトを
pressing
してみ
log
て
out
も
doesn't do anything.
何も
ああ、エラーって出るだけだろ
Just gives an error, doesn't it? So people in the hibernation pods can't log out on their own.
遠い昔は何かに使ってた
Probably
んだろ
used to do something in the far
う。だが
past,
壊れて使われなく
but
なっ
it's
た。
broken now.
謎の機能だ
It's a mystery what it's supposed to do.
昔の話じゃない。今も使
Not
わ
a
れ
thing
て
of the
る。
past. It's usable as we speak.
その証拠として実
Why
際
don't
に
I show
ロ
you
グアウトを
a
お見せ
log
しま
out
す
to prove it?
アレグロ
Allegro,
お
if you
願
don't
い
mind. Allegro nods and operates the menu. Then after 2 minutes wait,
消えた
he disappeared.
これがログアウトした状
He's
態です
logged out now.
今アレグロは現実で活動しているはずです
Mhm. Mr. Candy starts walking around, looking behind buildings and whatnot. I'm able to find Allegro after looking around for a while. He seemingly gives up and looks at the sky instead.
確かにどこにも見当たらんが。
I certainly can't find him anywhere, but
多分そろそろログイ
he
ンして
should be
戻ってき
logging
ますよ
back in right around now.
うわ本当
He
に
really popped in out of
Did that,
nowhere.
どうです？信じてくれますか？
Do you believe this now?
アバターの能力という可能性があ
It's
る。
an avatar ability. An ability that makes you invisible and intangible, huh? How did it make for a convenient avatar? But it's not an avatar. He really did log out.
信じられんか。
You still don't believe
な
me?
らば次だ。
Fine.
アバターを出
Plan
せ。
B. Bring out your avatar.
ここでは戦わん。
I won't fight
ア
you
ルテミアン
here.
ってのはそういう場
The
所だ。
surface place Alchemian
俺
is.
も戦う気はない。
I don't want to fight
見
you.
るだけだ。
I just want to look.
僕からもお願いします。
I'm begging you
出す
to.
ことだけ
Can you
でき
please
ません
just
か？
show us?
アバタ
アバターラ
Carla,
から
empathize.
共感だ。
It's gonna be his daughter, isn't it? Carla's eyes light up as she looks closely at Mr. Candy's avatar. I see.
なるほど。
This seems
これは
to be a memory of
父
watching
親
a
と
movie
映
with
画を
her
見た記
father.
憶らしいな。
He had drinks and candy.
飲み
ー。お前さん、俺
This
の
all
記
my
憶を
memory?
この父親は
Where's your father
今
right
ど
now?
こにいる？
知らん。
Beats me.
どこかで記憶カードを破壊さ
Probably
れ、
had his
死んで
memory
しまったんだ
shattered
ろう。
and died.
ならば、そもそも父親とは何だ？
What is a father?
お前たちの言い分によると、俺たちはこの世界に突然
Just suddenly
この
appeared
よう
in
な
this
姿で
world
誕生するんだろ
the
う。
way we are right now. Didn't.
父親、息子、
So
そ
what
んな
other
役
roles
割
of
はいつ
father
決
and
まる？
son allotted? Was your
最初か
father
ら
an
父親は
assigned
父親
father
として
at
生
birth?
ま
わからん。
I don't know.
なら次だ。
Moving on then.
この記憶には
Your hands are
お前
visible
の
in
手も
this
見える。
memory, but they look small.
幼く小さな手のようだが、こ
However,
の世界では身
in
長や
this
体
world,
型までは
height
変えられ
and
ない。
physique can't be changed
では、
after character creation.
記憶の中のお
In
前
that
は
case,
何だ？
what are you in this memory?
この通り、
As you
少
can
し考
see,
えれば矛盾点な
if
ん
you
てい
give
くら
it
で
even
もある。
half a thought, your logic is full of holes.
現実がない。
The real world doesn't
笑わせるな。
exist. Don't make me
ないのは
The
現
only
実と
thing
向き合
that
う
doesn't
心だろ。
exist is your willingness to face the real world.
どう思いますか？
What do you think?
確かに、反論は思い
I
つか
must
ん。
admit,
言われれば言われるほど、現実があったような気はしてくる。
the more I feel like the real world existed at one point.
だが、
But I can tell that he doesn't want to believe it. But he doesn't have much of a choice, does he? Even Mr. Candy himself has had to have sensed the contradictions at some point. He must have really wanted the real world to be a fairy tale if he was able to convince himself that it was.
アルバムを見せろ。
Show me your album. Mr. Candy opens up his
や
album.
っぱり
I knew it.
ほぼ壊れてるんですね。
Everything has been shattered. 3 of the 4 memory cards are shattered memory. The only remaining one, the one about movies, has an empathy ratio of 50%. Was this one single memory card the only thing keeping Mr. Candy together?
とりあえず、
In any
お前は
case,
ここを動くな。
don't you dare go anywhere.
俺たちはまた後
We'll
で
be
来る。
back later.
わかった。
Okay.
ただ、俺からも一ついい
May
か
I ask one thing in return.
なんでしょ
What might that be?
そのアレグロってのが戻ってきてから
Ever since the Legro guy got
ずっと
back,
ルストの肩を掴んでるのは一体
he's been gripping your shoulder tight, Rest. What's the deal with that?
う？ああ、これは、
That,
その
well, you probably heard Allegro's pride if I said that he's a lonely guy.
これは現実を感じる作法だ。
This is a technique to keep a grasp on the real world.
そうなんですよ。
Yeah, that's exactly it. Allegro, you look smug like you just pulled a fast one. But Mr. Candy looks like he believes that excuse even less than he believed the whole real world thing at first.
壊れた記憶の修復に必
Each
要な
of
枚
those
数は
shattered memories
So
takes
there's a
5 lights
point.
to recover.
計
It's
15
15 in
枚だった。
total.
修復するの？
We're going to recover them?
あ
Yeah,
あ、あいつに何を言っても無駄
there's
だ
no。point talking.
仮に
Even if we
心から
convince
現
them
実
to
の
believe
存在
in
を
the
信じ
real
ても、
world,
そ
there's
れ
no
でパスワード
guarantee
を
he'll
思い出すと
remember
は
the past.
限らん。記憶を修復し、
So we'll
強制
restore
的
his
に思い
memory
出させる。
and make him remember.
いい考えだと思う。
I think that's a good plan. That certainly sounds like a more reliable way of reminding him about the real world. And beyond that, it's a concerning for Mr. Candy to only have one memory card. I'd like to help him recover at least one or two.
ただ祝福の光を15枚も
How do we even
どうやって
scrounge up
集めよう
15
か
marks of blessing? That certainly sounds like a lot.
あのキャンディというプレイヤーは単
Does
独
the
行
player
動
named
か
Candy tend to work by himself?
今は数人と一緒に行動してるみたいだ
He's
よ
working with several other people right now.
ならまずはそこを狙おう。
Then let's go after those guys first.
ちょっと待ってキャンディーさんの仲間を狙う
You're
の
suggesting we go after Mr. Candy's entire team?
安心しろ。
Relax.
個別に引き離してか
We'll
ら狙う。
separate them and pick them off one by one.
わあそれなら安
Oh,
心
that's a relief.
できないよ
Yeah.
人を狙
You
う
wanna go
の
after people?
ああ。モンスターよりプレイヤ
Players
ーだ。
are more convenient than monsters.
モンスターは記憶を1枚壊した
Monsters
ら消える。
disappear after you shatter just one memory.
その点
Players can have
プレイヤーな
multiple
ら
memories
複
you
数
can
枚
shatter.
壊せる。
そういう問題じゃなくて
That's not the problem.
ゲームオーバーさせる
Are you
気
saying we should make them reach a game over?
当然。その方が効率的だ。
For maximum efficiency. Yep, he's insane. Maximum efficiency? Should that really be our top priority? No! 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 Alright, so we did these the other day, so we're gonna have to... So we can... Only problem is with this new memory, or this new choice, I actually don't know which one's going to be the right answer. I can actually see the benefit and the anti-benefit. I want to say downside. Is it downside? Of each one. So, we saved. We'll choose one if we get the game over. But which one do we choose? Do we go kill a bunch of people to save Allegro's memories? That doesn't seem right. Or not Allegro's memories. To save Candy's memories? Because that doesn't necessarily mean he'll help us. But if we don't do it, how do we... I don't know which one. There's good and bad to both. And I'm still not 100% sure if we make the people game over that they actually die or if they just get kicked out of the game. Because it hasn't really said what happens to them yet. Right now I'm choosing to believe that they're still alive in some manner. Okay, so. Personal. I'm not going to agree with Allegro. We did save, right? We're going to save again. Just to be safe. No, I'm not going to agree. If this gets me the game over, we'll go back. But I am not going to agree with Allegro on this one.
ダメだよ。みんな一生懸命生きて
Everyone's
る。
trying their best
むやみ
to
に襲
survive.
って殺す権利なんてな
You
い。
have no right to attack and kill at random.
今さら何を。
You're still whining
そ
about
れが
that?
このゲームだ。
In this game, it's
そ
kill
も
or
そ
be
も
killed.
現実の
It's just
狩りだっ
like
て
hunting
同
in
じ
the
だろ
real
う。
world, isn't it?
人を買ったことはないよ。
ああ。活動中の個体数が少ないからな。
Population living outside is far too sparse. Is he implying it'd be okay to hunt a new game if the population were dense enough? I mean, the village I was born in did have conflict, but that was just due to a slight disagreement. human beings can talk things out. So there's no way we can just hunt each other down.
そういうお前は
So do you
モンスター
seriously
だけで
intend to
15
collect
枚集める
15 lights
気か
by hunting monsters alone?
それが大変なことはわかるよ。
I know that it'll be a tough task. When I first headed to the village with Miss Cheryl, I didn't see a single monster. So at the very least, I doubt there are many monsters in this area. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I have misgivings about killing monsters now too. After all, I know that inside each monster there's still a human being. You just can't see them normally.
ならどうする
So what do you suggest?
思い出す可能性に
Do
か
you
け
want
て
to wake him up in
現
the
実で
real
目
world?
覚めさせるの
Just
か
hope that he remembers the password.
それもダメだよ。
I can't do that
その
either.
後の責任を取れな
I
い。
wouldn't be able to take responsibility for anything that happened after that. There's no telling if I can wake him up properly. And considering questions of food and game devices, there's no guarantee he can survive in the real world. That said, I have no idea if he can put back into the pod once I've woken him up for hibernation. While my life might be on the line, I can't endanger Mr. Candy just to save my own skin.
祝福の光を譲ってくれる
Let's see
人
if
がいないか
anyone's willing to give
探
us
してみるよ。
a blessing.
迷惑かけるけど
I know it's
手
annoying,
伝ってほしい。
but I want you to help.
ああ
Yeah.
迷惑だ
It is annoying.
その考え方はな
Your logic, that is.
お前
How much food do you have in the
現実の食料は？
real world?
ない。
I've got nothing.
水も飲み切った。
I've been keeping my food and water in the trailer house. The only thing I brought into the hibernation facility was a small amount of emergency water. It's been hours since I drank the last of it. Once I log out, I'll probably be the thirstiest I've ever been. In fact, I'm already dehydrated as it is, so I might have difficulty even standing up.
その状況でよく悠長なことが言えるな
For someone in such a dire
死ぬぞ。
situation, you sure don't seem to have any sense of urgency. You're gonna die, you know.
死ぬとは決まってな
We
い。
don't know if I'm gonna
可
die
能性
for
にかけ
sure.
るだけ。
I'll just have to gamble on my chances. Hopefully we can find someone kind enough to give us some light's blessing.
バカか
Are you a moron?
他人の命を奪うくら
Try
い
to
な
be a
ら
moron than
バカ
I
な
am.
方がいい。
Steve,
スティ
do you want your brother to die?
お前の兄は死んでもいいのか
Of course not. Right?
スティ、自分のために人を傷つけたら
Do you
ダ
want
メ
to
でし
hurt
ょ。
others for your own gain? Of course not. Right? I'm
ごめん。
sorry.
面倒なことを言ってる自覚はあるよ。
I know I'm being stubborn.
昨日までの僕だったら
If I were the same
Allegro ni
person I was
同意した
up
と思う
until
から。
yesterday, I probably would have agreed with you, Allegro. It's not right to make others suffer. If you need to do so in order to survive, you don't have much choice. With that thought in mind, I probably would have shattered other people's memories without any hesitation.
一日で何が
What
変わっ
changed in just one day?
生まれ変わったよ。
I was reborn.
他の人の気持ちを
I felt other
自
people's
分のこと
emotions
のよう
as
に
if
感
they
じ
were
た。
my own. And I
この
came
ゲー
to
ム内にあ
understand
る
the
もの
value
の
of
価
the
値も
things
理解
within
した。
this game.
それから
And that
戸
feeling,
惑ってるんだ。
people,
これまでとはあまりにも感覚
it
が
was
違
so
って
different from anything I had felt in life.
自
I
分が
suddenly
わ
lost
から
my
なく
sense
な
of
る。
self
た共感性の高さから
because of the high level of your empathy, huh? So you'd be okay with fighting another player
相
if
手
it
が
didn't
プレイヤーで
cause
も
them to suffer?
苦し
Yes.
だったら
In that
ついて
case,
こい
follow me. Allegro turns his back to me.
バ
and
トル
just
コー
walks.
ナーに行く
We're going to the battle corner.
ここが
Sorry?
バトルコーナ
This is the
ー？特に
battle
何も
corner?
見えないけど。
Doesn't look like there's anything here in particular.
バトルコーナーというのは
The
通称
battle
だ
corner is just what
しっ
people
かり
like
し
to
た
call
設
it.
備があるわけじゃない
It's not an actual facility or anything. Allegro said there's a player with a huge memory card collection who comes by this place every now and then. Apparently, this player wants to be the strongest, and thus recruits challengers at fixed intervals. In other words, we can thus challenge this player to a fair duel and earn lights of blessing with consent. Nobody has to suffer.
その人って最強を目指してるのにボスは狙わなかったの？
It doesn't go after bosses?
あ
Well,
あ、神のかけらは最終的
apparently
に
the
手に
plan
入れ
is
れ
just
ばい
to
い
collect the final
と
god
考え
fragment
て
at
る
the
らしく
end
てな。今は純粋に
and get as strong
神
as
のかけ
possible
ら抜きで強くなろ
without
うとしてい
any
るよう
god
だ。
fragments in the meantime. Maximize your own power before relying on the god fragment's power? I like that way of thinking.
アレグロは戦ったことあるの？
Have you fought this player before, Allegro?
いや、
No,
噂に聞いたことがあるだ
I've
ろう
only heard the rumors.
確か
Pretty sure we just gotta wait
ここ
here.
で待っ
あれ変なの。
Something weird. Huh? That is weird. It looks just like a speck since it's far away. But it's quickly getting bigger. I don't see anything. Oh. Those are people. There's a pair of people approaching. But how are they moving so fast? Players can't run like that. On closer inspections, it seems that they're riding some sort of avatar. I didn't know you could do that. Guess you learn something new every...
おお
うわー
I can't see you! Stop! One of the players gets off the avatar. But by the time I notice that, it's too late. The player that's still riding the avatar, the player named Dom, zooms in right in front of my face. But he doesn't stop there. He keeps going in circles around me at incredible speeds.
助けて
Help! What's he doing? He's super close. He's spinning around. He's even making weird noises too. He's kind of freaking me out. Should I bring out an avatar and fight?
おお
お願いですからとりあえず
Please
落
calm
ち着い
down. I'm
て
begging you.
ドム
Dom,
止まってください。おお
suddenly Mr. Dom is hurled into the air. It seems like Leah, the player who got off first, had kicked the avatar Mr. Dom was riding. Unable to come to a quick stop, Mr. Dom ends up tumbling on the ground before getting up.
すみません。でも
I'm so sorry, but
この人
for
たち
bothering these people.
困っああ悪い。新ボスなんてレアもので、ついいろんな角度から見たく
New
て
bosses is
ね。
such a rare sight. I just had to get a look at you from every angle. He was observing me? Once Mr. Dom has finally calmed down, he approaches us. I step up to meet him halfway.
待て
Wait,
話なら俺が
let me do the talking.
言いたいことは分かってる
I know what it is
僕
I'm
に
gonna
任せ
say.
て
Please let me do the talking. After seeing what I just saw, there's only one thing for me to say.
あの今の僕たちも乗せてください
Can we try writing that thing too?
は
What?
もちろんアレグロも一緒だよ
That includes you too, Allegro.
俺はあんなもの乗り
I
たく
don't
ない
want to write that thing.
なんで
Why
あんなにすごいのに
So cool. I was shocked. I was scared. But now that I've calmed down, the only feeling that rises to the top is curiosity.
それってアバター
That
です
thing's
よ
an
ね
avatar, right?
アバターってことは
And if it's an
過
avatar,
去にあっ
that
たもの
means
が
it's
元
based
に
on
な
a
ってるんですよ
historical
ね
artifact, right?
もっとよく見せてください
Please let me get a closer look.
いいねいいね。
Just
この
let me-
00249の良さがわかるとは素晴らしい。
Good old 00249 here.
わかりますよそりゃ
Of
もう
course I can appreciate
最
it.
高にかっこいいで
It's
す
so incredibly cool. It looks fun too. Not only am I sure I'll enjoy it, maybe Steve will enjoy it too, even in her current state.
ふむ、君はいい目をしてい
I
る。
like the look in your eye.
だが乗るには条件があ
Before you
る。
write, I have one condition.
それは
What's that?
楽しむこと。
Can you
だ
promise me that you'll enjoy
できる
yourself?
かね。
はい
Yes, sir.
うわ
With permission, I start writing the avatar. The scenery passes me by in the blink of an eye. What really sets this thing apart from the trailer house is that I can feel the wind directly. I'm just going around in circles, and yet I just can't get enough.
ー早いねスティ
Look how fast we're going, Steve. Steve might not be smiling, but she does seem surprised. That's good.
すっごいですねこれ
Is this thing
空も
amazing?
飛べそう
I bet it could fly into the sky.
空は厳しい
Think
ね。
about the sky.
た
This
だ
avatar
こ
can
のア
move
バター
around
な
the
ら
ocean floor
例えば
with
海底でも
hardly
ほ
any
ぼ
effect
変わら
on
ない
its
速度
speed.
で。
何ですかそれ。
You
化
serious?
け物ですね。
This thing must be a beast. According to Mr. Dom, this avatar is based on something called a kickboard. Such a small board can work as a vehicle. People of this time were so amazing. Allegra was glaring at me in exasperation, but I guess I'll try to ignore it. So, anyway.
それで
e-
お前が
sorry.
挑戦者を求めているプレイヤーだな。
So anyway, you must be the player who's recruiting challengers.
俺たちは挑戦しに来たが
We came here for the challenge,
初めてで勝手が分か
but
る。
it's our first times. We don't know how
説明
things
してく
work.
れないか。
Care to explain this challenge?
ふむ、そのようだ
I
ね
see.
リア
Yeah, don't be shy.
怯えて
Come
ない
on
で
forward. Okay.
はい
Ms. Leah tentatively stepped. Okay, so she's. Nope, there we go. But as soon as she makes eye contact with Mr. Allegro, she draws back and hides behind Mr. Tom again. She seems to be afraid of Allegro's sharp eyes.
ご説明します
Allow me to explain.
まずここでの戦いは命がけ
Battles
の
we
戦
conduct
闘で
are
は
not
な
to
く
the death.
厳正なるルールの下で行われる試合戦闘は1対
Battles
1
are 1v1.
他のプレイヤーの乱入は許されません
interfere.
外野が口出しするのは
What about coaching from the sidelines? That is fine.
それは構いま
Anything
せ
they
ん
like. As long as they do not
アバ
summon
ター
an
を出して
avatar and
戦いに
participate.
対戦者はアバターを一度に複数
Competitors
出
may
しても
summon
いい
multiple avatars at once.
ただし
However,
1試合につき
only
使え
3
るアバターは
avatars may be
3
used
体まで
each
で
match.
すその
This
持っ
rule
て
is
る
in
アバ
place
ターを出し続
to
け
keep
ると
matches short.
私たちが
Without a
有利すぎて
limitation on usable
試合
avatars,
が終わらなくなってし
we
まい
would
ます
have
から
an unfair advantage. She opens up her album as she speaks. Whoa. She's got 100 memory cards. That's an unbelievable number. She's got a point. If she were allowed to manifest all of these, there'd be no end to the match in sight, even if you kept defeating avatar after avatar. I suppose this rule's a courtesy for challengers.
どちらかが1回レッドアウトした時点で
A match
1
ends
試
when
合
either
終了
player
として
heads out. The
視聴
victor
者
is
も
then
アバタ
kindly
ーを
asked
退
to
去
be
させてくだ
manifest
さい
for avatars.
連続で試合
If
を
you
したい
win
場合
through
で
the
も
match,
仕
the
切り直し
battlefield
てから
could be
戦う
reset
ことに
between
なり
each
ます
match.
その際もお互いが了承した場合でなければ
With the
戦闘
consent
は
of
開
both
始されません
competitors. Is that a sufficient explanation?
ここまでいいですか
Allegra nods. Those certainly sound like fair rules. If either competitor gets close to a game over, they can pull back safely.
ここまでが基本ルールで
Those
す
are the basic rules.
破
If
っ
you
た
choose
場
to
合
ignore the
は
rules, then we will ignore the
私たちも
rules and subdue you as well.
そのルー
Ms.
ル
Leo
無用で
brandishes
お相
her
手し
album
ます
once again.
勝利時の報酬については
I heard we could
交渉できる
negotiate a prize for winning.
はい
You may.
例えば記憶の
If
破
you're worried
壊
about
に気
memory
が引ける
destruction,
なら
we can award you life
私たち
lessons.
が持っている祝福の
If you want
光を
memory
譲渡
cards,
する
we
こと
can
もできま
award
す
you those as well.
記憶カードの譲渡をご希
If
望
it
の
isn't
場合
memory
は
cards you're after,
あなたたちが負け
you
た
must
場合
trade
に
your
も
memory
記
if
憶
it
カー
is
ドを
if
渡して
it's
もら
memory.
うこと
Okay.
になりますが
面白い
Interesting.
が今
But
は
there will
必要な
be
い
no need for that today.
提案したいのは別
What
だ
I would like to propose is something else.
今回俺たちは5試合
We
の
would
連
like
戦
to
を申し
ask
込
for
む
5 matches. And if we win all 5 of them,
全て
we
勝
would
っ
like
た
to take 15
祝
life
福の
matches.
光を15
1試合につき
So,
3枚も
3
失え
lives
と
for 1 match?
いや
No.
5試合で15枚だ
15 lives for 5 matches.
報酬をもらうの
We'll
は
claim
5試
our
合後
prize
でい
at
い
the end. And
5試合
Russ
と
will
も
be
全
the
て
one fighting all of the
こ
matches.
の1試合でもルストが負けたら
If Russ
こ
loses
ちらの
even a
負け
single match, we'll
そ
accept
の場合
defeat.
お前たちは神のかけらと
And we'll
5枚
even
の
throw
記
in
憶カード
5
を
memory cards. I'm sorry, what? Allegro? Yeah, that's my thought. I instinctively jump off the avatar. But Allegro doesn't even look at me.
へえ神のかけらは戦わない方が大
I
事
was
に持つと
expecting
思
you
っ
to
てい
keep
た
the
んだが
god
ね
fragment in the careful
わざ
hands
わざ
of
かけ
whoever
て
was
くれる
going
の
to
かい
fight. But you're deliberately wagering it instead?
邪魔が入らない中でボス
You
と
get the
1対
opportunity
1
to fight a boss 1v1
それも5回も
without
戦える
any
なら
interference for the low
祝福の光
Low
15
price
枚なんて
of
安い
16
もんだろ
lights of blessing. That's a bargain, isn't it?
ふむ
Hmm.
確かにより
Indeed.
観察するという意
That's
味
an
でも
attractive
悪くはないね
proposition, even based solely on the observational data it would provide.
ただ
That
ルー
said,
ル無用で神のかけらを奪われ
have you
る
considered the
とは思わな
possibility
かった
that
の
we
か
could
ね
simply break the rules and steal the god fragment?
その場合でも
Even if you did, you still couldn't beat Rust.
ほうそれほど強いと
Is he that strong?
見ればわかるさ
You'll know when you see it.
それは恐
Now,
ろしい
that's a frightening thing to
では
say.
その条件で受けて立とうかね
We accept your conditions. Sorry, I'm trying to find a voice
あ
for
の人
Dom.
た
It's
ち
just not as easy.
そんなに弱いの
Are they really that weak?
弱ければバトルコーナーなんて
If
やっ
they
て
were
ないだ
weak,
ろ
they
うな
wouldn't be running a battle corner, would they?
じゃあなんであんな条件
Then
に
why'd you suggest those conditions?
15試合なんてやってたら
15 matches
時間
would
が
take
かか
too
る
long.
現実
Your
の体が
human
持たない
body
だろう
can't endure that long either, can it? True. My physical condition's deteriorating as we speak. Time is of the essence.
でも初戦で負けても記
But
憶
if
カ
I
ードを
lose
5
even
枚
the first
失う
match, we lose 5
その
minutes.
配分は
How do we break that down?
悪いが1枚はお前に出してもらう
But you'll need to
俺
provide
が
one
出せ
of
るの
those
は
cards.
4枚までだ
I've only got 4 to give.
5枚
Do you
持
have
ってる
5
の
cards?
全部で4枚だ
I've got 4 in total. That means if I lose, it's game over for you. Like,
条件変えてもらってくる
I'll go renegotiate.
ダメだ
No,
僕を過大評価しすぎだよ
you're overestimating me.
お前と戦った時
Remember that trick I pulled
俺
in
が
the
な
first
ぜ
boss?
あんな小細工した
Why
と
do you think I did that? What trick? You mean how you made that debris fall on you?
そういう戦い方が好きだから
Because you like fighting that way?
好きなのは情報収集だ
What I like is gathering
俺は
information.
事前に聞き込みをし
I learned ahead that you're driven by righteous indignation
お前が義憤に駆られて戦うお人完全シンクロができるほ
and
ど
that
に
you're
強
strong
い
enough to pull off
と
perfect
いう
sync.
こと
I see. If you heard about my fight with Dark Cerberus, you might get the impression that I'm strong.
だからって命までかけるなんて
Doesn't mean you should bet your life on me.
正直に言えばな
To be honest,
俺は憧れ
I
てるのさ
admire the empathy you have.
僕の共
What
感
do you
性
mean?
共感には
You see,
情動的共感
empathy
と
is divided
認知的
into
共感があっ
cognitive
た
empathy and emotional empathy.
認知的共感というのは
Cognitive
相
empathy
手
is
の
when
立
you
場になった場
empathize
合を推測して
with someone by
理解す
figuring
る
out
共感
and understand the positioning they're in.
情動的共感は
Emotional empathy
相手の気持ちを
is
自
when you
分のことの
empathize
よう
with
に感
someone
じ
by
る共感
feeling
だ
their emotions as your own.
そういう違いがあるのはなんとなくわかるよ
I think I intuitively understand that difference. If you see someone trip and think that must have hurt, that's cognitive empathy. If you feel their pain just by looking at them and think, ouch, I hope they're okay, that's emotional empathy, I guess. Until just a while ago, I had only been experiencing cognitive empathy, so if people died, it didn't even faze me. But now, I've regained my emotional empathy. So it pained me to see even an avatar like Carla getting hurt.
俺みたいな情動的共感に乏しいやつはな
You've got low emotional empathy like me.
自分が人間として不
You
完全に
sometimes
思え
feel like an incomplete human being.
だから
That's why at
お前み
times
たいな人間を
human beings like you just
眩しく
seem
思
so
う時があ
dazzling
る
to me.
僕みたいな人間
Human beings like me?
僕みたいな人が
You've met others?
他にも
喋りすぎたな
I've said too much.
忘れろ
Forget what you've heard. Regardless of Allegro's circumstances, I think I can understand his admiration. Till just a little while ago, I too wish for the empathy to get close to the feelings of others.
わかった
Okay,
そういうことなら条件は
if
撤回
that's
し
the
ない
case, I won't renegotiate the conditions.
ただ負けた時の配分は変えてもらう
You to change the breakdown
僕の
if I
出す
lose.
記憶カードが3枚
I'll give up 3
ア
of
レ
my
グロが
other
2枚
cards.
でいい
You can chip in the other 2.
自分が犠牲になるつもりか
Are you trying to be self-sacrificial?
うん
No.
絶対負け
I'm
ないって
putting
い
my
う
money where my mouth
意
is.
思表明だよ
I won't lose. If he admires me and believes in me that much, then I want to live up to his expectations. Once I'm done talking with Allegro, I step up to Miss Leah. But she seems more interested in Steve for some reason, as she keeps looking her way.
どうかしましたか?
Is something the matter? I was just thinking that
可
she's
愛
a
い子
cute
だ
girl.
と。
やっぱりそうですか?
Do you think so
スティ
too?
可愛いですよ
She
ね。
really is
美
cute.
人ですよね。
She's so beautiful. Miss Leah awkwardly looks away when I say that. Miss Leah's probably hiding something, isn't she? I'm curious, but I probably shouldn't pry into it all of a sudden.
髪型変えたんですね。
I see you changed
似
your
合ってます。
hairstyle. It looks good on you. Thank
あ
you.
りがとうございます。
I changed my hair to match my memory card in battle.
リアさんが戦うんですか?
You're the one who fights Miss Leah?
違う時もありますけど。
Sometimes, sometimes not.
きょ
But today,
今日は私
it's
です。
me. Is that okay?
いえ、そんなことはありませんよ。
Of course, that's not a problem. Mr. Dom just seemed to be more dominant one, so I assumed he'd be more suited for battle.
よろしくお願いします。
It's a pleasure to fight with
お
you.
願いします。
The pleasure's all mine.
それでは始めよう。
In that case,
勝負はあの溶岩が吹き上げた瞬間に
the match
開始
will
され
still
る。
start when that volcano erupts. I look in the direction of Mr. Dom gestures to, and sure enough, I see what appears to be a volcano. I stare at the volcanic crater, take a deep breath. Now we wait. Boom. And now we keep waiting. We'll go down here. Okay, we're at a big battle, sort of. So we're going to go ahead and stop it for the night. I know this is kind of a kind of a teasing sort of stop, and I apologize for that, but that's what we're doing, so that's what we're doing. Thank you everyone for coming out and hanging out with us and having fun with us as we learn more about our new friends and about our new world and pretty much just about our entire situation. Excuse me. I know visual novels aren't exactly everybody's cup of tea. I get it. But like I said earlier, I love visual novels. I love... Because it's a story. But then at certain points, you get to make the decisions. And they can be good decisions or bad decisions or... not really have any impact on anything at all. It could literally just be what the character has for breakfast. But alright, thank you everyone for coming out. Stay safe everyone. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.